Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to historic Lawrence-Dumont Stadium in downtown Wichita, Kansas. It's once again time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Tonight, another elimination game as Hutchinson tries to come all the way through the losers bracket. It's the Blue Dragons and the Johnson County Cavaliers in a third-round elimination game. Steve Carpenter and Denny Steckline with you. Fourth game of the day, and the second for both of these teams. Hutchinson earlier today defeated Seward County by the score of 12-8. And then Johnson County survived a scare from Kansas City, but ultimately won 12-6 to advance to this third-round consolation, or the third-round elimination game. The winner of this game moves on to face the Barton Cougars in the losers bracket final tomorrow at 4. The Cougars just lost a tough one to Cali in the battle of the two Jayhawk champions in the East and West. And now Cali is the championship, or in the championship game as the undefeated team. So whoever comes through this, whether it be Hutchinson, Johnson, or Barton, will have to defeat Cali once tomorrow night and then once again on Tuesday afternoon. But before the Blue Dragons can even worry about Barton, they have to take care of Johnson County. Yesterday, the Blue Dragons exercised some Region 6 demons by knocking out Neosho County, the team that eliminated Hutchinson 1 year ago. They get a chance to do it tonight to the team that knocked them out 2 years ago, the Johnson County Cavaliers. And I bring in Denny Steckline, who's been here all day with me. A lot of good baseball today, but right now we concentrate on the Blue Dragons trying to extend their season one more game, now 4-0 in elimination games.
Thank you, Carp, and a beautiful evening here at the ballpark, and you're right. It's there's been a lot of great baseball today. Just finished a tremendous game between Cali and Barton. You'd expect nothing less from the final of the winner's bracket side, with Cali taking that 6-5, pushing a run across in the bottom of the eighth to take the lead and hold on to win that. And it's once again, and you almost get to a point, I think, with having faced 4 sudden death opportunities already, now a fifth one for Hutchinson, that any anxiety associated with that is minimized. And it's going to be an interesting one. We've got a couple of names in the lineup in this game that we haven't seen in this tournament yet. Zion Bowen coming in as a designated hitter, and Z has hit the ball well when he's had some opportunities, but in a numbers game, he just hasn't had as many as some others. And the way Scotty Wolverton has all of a sudden come on the last couple of games, you can't keep Scotty out of the lineup. A couple of doubles and a triple earlier this afternoon. And then Mason Palmier getting the start on the mound. And I don't want to take that away from you. I know you're going to run through that with us on Mason. But elimination game for both teams. Neither of them want their season to end tonight. But you've got to feel good about the way the Blue Dragons are hitting the ball, the way they're playing the game right now.
Blue Dragons will face a lefty tonight in Dante Lowry. This will be Lowry's first start, when he has a rather respective 4.14 ERA, 5 saves, so he is the number one closer for Kent Shelley's team with 2-1 record. And he is taking on Mason Palmier tonight. Mason, his last start was April 16th against NOC Toccoa, and he lasted just 1 inning. That was a game where Ryan Schmidt rolled through a lot of pitchers. His last true start came on April 12th against MCC Longview up in Kansas City. Not a good outing, 5 innings, 8 hits, and 6 runs. Mason Palmier was slotted in the weekend rotation and got to a very good start, but slowly tailed off, and he's only pitched once since April 16th, and that was a 1 1/3 inning stint in the 6-1 loss against Coffeyville in Game 1 of the opening round series. So Ryan Schmidt coming out, and we're going to get the managers meeting going away. So let's get you the lineups. Hutchinson will be the home team on the scoreboard once again for the 38-22 Cavaliers. They'll line it up like this. Leading off will be the second baseman, Mason Hartman. Left fielder, Brian Sullivan, bats second. Batting third is the third baseman, Ty Herrenbruck. Malik Williams, and he's a big one. First baseman, batting cleanup. Very impressive young man in that cleanup spot for Johnson County. Batting fifth will be the center fielder, Jacob Owens. Chaz Burgess bats sixth and plays right field. Jake Karst will once again catch. He'll bat seventh for the Cavaliers. Nick Supple bats eighth, the designated hitter. And batting ninth is shortstop Matt Johnson. Again, Dante Lowry, left-hander, a sophomore, 2-1 record and a 4.14 ERA, gets the start for the Cavaliers. So Kent Shelley's team lines up Hartman, Sullivan, Herrenbruck, Williams, Owen, Burgess, Karst, Supple, and Johnson with Dante Lowry on the mound. The Blue Dragon lineup, Brock Schaefer, center fielder, batting first. Batting second will be the second baseman, Logan Sartori, coming off back-to-back 3-hit games. Wyatt Dibbs bats third at third base. Bobby Morgenson, who had 5 RBIs this afternoon against Seward County, bats cleanup and plays left field. Dylan Nedved, the shortstop, bats fifth. He'll be followed by Zach Baxley in the order. The first baseman bats sixth. Julian Ripp moving up in the order tonight, batting seventh and playing right field. Batting eighth, the suddenly surging Scott Wolverton. He'll be doing the catching. Batting ninth is Zion Bowen, the designated hitter. Starting pitcher tonight is Mason Palmier. Palmier brings a 3-2 record and a 5.40 earned run average into the game. So the Dragons are lining up with Schaefer, Sartori, Divis, Morgenson, Nedved, Baxley, Ripp, and Wolverton. Schaefer, Sartori, Divis, Morgenson, Nedved, Baxley, Ripp, Wolverton, and Bolin with Mason Palmier on the mound.
Carp, you touched on Morgenson and those 5 RBIs. Well, he was hitless till the 8th, although he had 2 RBIs that came in virtue of a ground out and a sac fly.
I was under the impression that the Dragons are the home team, but I guess Johnson County's they're
the 7 seed.
They are the 7 seed.
Yeah, they're the 7 or the 8.
I got to switch around the scoreboard. So take it away, or the stats computer. So take it away, Denny.
Yeah. So Morgenson in the game earlier today, and he's hit the ball okay leading up to this morning's game at 10 a.m., but really hadn't lived up to what we've expected out of Bobby Morgenson, and had a productive ground out in the first inning to score a run for Hutch, and then a sac fly later in the game, but came up after Hutch had a 7-0 lead in that one, and Seward came back to make it 9-8 by scoring 4 in the top of the 8th. Morgenson came up in the bottom of the 8th with 2 men on, and you can just relive it, Carp, when you think back to that. Galen McSpadden came out of the dugout and had a visit with this pitcher, Braden Gould, and they're talking about, have you got enough in you to get this guy? And you want a confident pitcher, and Gould, I'm sure, told him, I've got him, coach. And if it wasn't the next pitch, it was one pitch after that, but Bob sent it high and deep and out to right to turn a 9-8 game into a 12-8 game. And really, you could see it take a lot out of the Saints and catapulted the Blue Dragons into this game here tonight.
So
you getting your technical difficulties?
Just getting the lineup switched around. So if you got a few more words of wisdom, I'll have it ready to go here before the first game or before the first pitch.
Well, to be as you said, Dante Lowry on the mound for the Cavaliers, and it's going to be an interesting one. Just his first start of the season, but his 21st appearance overall. So how is he able to adjust, having the mindset of a closer or a relief pitcher? What does that do to a player when he's now given the ball to start the game? We shall see. And it's kind of even in that category when you look at Palmier not having pitched much at all in the last month. So really both teams, there's a lot of uncertainty probably facing them on the pitcher's mound tonight.
One memory of Region 6 past. You talk about relief pitchers and pitchers who haven't thrown for a while coming into a situation like this. 2005, very apparent. Andy Dirks, who was the closer and hadn't thrown for over a month and a half, had to pitch the loser's bracket final against Cali in 2005 and pitched 7 strong innings to get the win. And then 2 nights later, Sean Peary, who had only thrown 7 innings all year, throws 7 1/3 scoreless innings of relief in the second championship game, and the Blue Dragons went on to win that 2005 World Series. So it can be done. It has been done. And now we get set to go here as the Blue Dragons and Cavaliers get set. Again, this is a rematch of 2 years ago.
Carp, do you remember 2 years ago when the Blue Dragons were in a situation where they needed to call on someone to pitch who really didn't have a lot of innings for him, hadn't pitched for a while.
Matt Jones.
No, I'm thinking 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And he came out and...
It's not hitting me right now.
Not hitting you right now. Wow, have I stumped the Schwab?
You may have. Here we go. Brock Schaefer to lead it off. And strike one. First pitch right at 750. Schaefer hitting .338, 6 home runs, 44 RBIs. It's been 3 long days, Daddy.
Lucas Milner.
Lucas, yes. And he pitched well.
He pitched extremely well.
Breaking pitch from Lowry in for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Brock Schaefer. Earlier today, Schaefer was 2 for 4, a couple of runs scored and a walk in the postseason. Now Schaefer hitting 8 for 26, a .308 average, a home run, and 6 RBIs. Called strike 3. So Dante Lowry comes in and pounds the strike zone on Schaefer. And now to bring up the second baseman, Logan Sartori. Again, he's coming off back-to-back 3-hit games in the last 2. Sartori now hitting .352 with 76 total hits, 9 home runs, 55 RBIs. Sartori in the postseason now 11 for 25, a .440 average, 3 doubles and 4 driven in. Pitch sails outside. That pitch coming in at 82 miles per hour.
That's the first one that wasn't in the 70s, so Brock saw 3 all off speed. Couldn't get a read on any of them.
The lefty into the windup. That one misses low and away, and it's 2-0. I'm going to put a moratorium on talking anything past tonight right now. All right, now the Dragons just need to concentrate on Johnson County. 2-0 to Sartori. There's a swing and a pop-up. Hartman, the second baseman, drifting back in. Now more into center to make the catch, and there's 2 away. Dragons saw a lot more power arms earlier today. So it may take him a turn through the order to get used to Dante Lowry, who's not overpowering, but right now has the Dragons off balance. Here's Wyatt Divis. He struggled to a point today, 0 for 4 with an RBI. Walked once and had an RBI ground out. Breaking pitch misses low and away. Divis now hitting .367 with a team-high 15 home runs, 57 RBIs.
It was his ground out in the first inning today that put the Dragons on the board to start.
Divis now 5 for 23 in 6 postseason games, and he drives one high to center field. Pretty well hit. Owens going back. He's at the fence, and it's gone! Wyatt Divis goes his favorite part of the ballpark, left center field, and the Blue Dragons lead at 1-0 on the 16th home run for the sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska.
What is about him and left center, and he doesn't take an overly aggressive swing at any time. It's so smooth, and that ball just flies off the bat.
It's just his natural swing, and that's where his power goes. He can hit him to right, no doubt about it. We've seen him pull him, but that's just where his natural power is, to left center. Strike 1 to Bobby Morgenson. Bob on the season now, hitting .332, 11 home runs, and a team-high 60 RBIs. That was Divis' 58th run batted in. Morgenson now 6 for 22 in the postseason, and that hit him.
Good. So they don't waste any time reaching the Blue Dragon way in this game. There were 4 hit by pitch in the game earlier today.
Now 86, 1 away from the top 10.
See? You were counting them out of the top 10, and I said the day's not over.
Here's Dylan Nedved. Dylan Nedved 2 for 5 this afternoon against Seward County. Now hitting .361 for the season, and he takes low ball 1. Nedved with 5 home runs, 33 RBIs, 19 doubles. Dragons have 146 two-baggers this year.
Bobby with a good lead off first.
6 Dragons with 13 or more doubles. Wave and a miss by Nedved, and it's 1-1. Sartori 23 doubles. Nedved 19 doubles. Divis 17 doubles. Morgenson 18 doubles, and Schaefer 13 doubles. This team is able to spray it all over the field. Breaking pitch misses inside. By the way, our umpires tonight behind the plate is Robert Dickinson, Randy Jordan at first base, Brent Foth at third. And for the first time in the tournament, the umpires have broken out the pinks.
Great nod to Mother's Day.
Yes. Nice touch. Now the 2-1 to Nedved. Decent lead over at first by Morgenson. High chopper left side, fielded by the third baseman, Herrenbruck. Low throw dug out by Malik Williams, and that'll do it for the Dragons in the first. But a solo home run by Wyatt Divis gets the Blue Dragons an early lead. After a half, Hutchinson 1 and the Cavaliers coming up. Blue Dragons get their first warm-up tosses from Mason Palmier, the redshirt freshman from St. Louis. A record of 3-2, 5.40 ERA, 11th start, 12th appearance overall. Mason has 2 complete games, 46 and 2/3 innings pitched, 64 hits, 39 runs, 28 earned, 30 strikeouts to 10 walks, and opponents hitting .318 against. Over his last 3 starts, that number really jumped up. So Mason Hartman will lead it off for the Cavaliers.
Nice crowd tonight's game. Gorgeous evening. Temperature down to 83 degrees here at the ballpark.
A bunch of the softball girls in attendance tonight stopped up and said hi, and it's low ball 1 to Mason Hartman.
Already got a shout out on the live stream from Coach Knack.
That one spanked right up the middle.
I'll give you one guess, Carp. What phrase did Coach Knack post on the YouTube channel?
It's a great day for baseball.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy. So I'm looking down in the front row. I see Corbin Strobel, our director of admissions here. Probably here to critique the umpires.
Yes.
His brother
yes.
Conan umpire at a very high level.
Here's Brian Sullivan, a .366 hitter on the air, pitch blowing in. Move over to first. Back in safely is Hartman. 16 steals and 19 attempts for Hartman. Sullivan 2 for 9 in 3 games here in Wichita. Palmier's pitch. That one's lined to left, and it'll get down in front of Bobby Morgenson. He plays a high hop and gets it quickly in, and it's two singles to start the first inning for the Cavaliers. Johnson County, a very prolific offense, 338 team batting average and 77 home runs.
We saw it earlier, Carp, with these balls hit to the outfield. 2 of them in the previous game where the outfielders got to be careful, and even Bob with his 6'4" frame had to play that one back, and it almost got over him. He had to elevate to keep that one in front of him.
Ty Herrenbruck hitting .411 steps in, 13 home runs, 72 RBIs. He's not even the team high. There's a drive high and deep to left. Morgenson going back, and it's high off the wall. Gets away from him. 2 runs will score for sure. Morgenson finally gets to it. Or do they call a home run? They called it a home run. 3-run shot. I didn't see the umpires make a signal. But it's a 3-run home run for Herrenbruck, and Johnson County grabs the lead.
And And Coach Ryan Schmidt wastes no time. Zach Philbin, the Moose, is on his way to the bullpen. Palmier has not fooled anyone.
Palmier surrenders his 10th home run ball of the year. And now Malik Williams. He is a big one. First pitch hacking, and he cues it off the bat. 3 batters up, 3 batters in for Johnson County. Dragons trail it 3-1. Malik Williams, .394 average, 17 home runs, and a team-high 77 RBIs. There's a called strike, and it's 0-2.
You spend a lot more time in this ballpark than I have, Carp. I'm gonna assume with that wall out there and left, the top row of billboards must be above a line.
Home run call.
Home run line.
Yep. Williams hits one to deep short, but Dylan Nedved equal to the task. Long throw gets Malik Williams for the first out, and that'll bring up the center fielder Jacob Owens. Owens, a .330 hitter on the year, 4 home runs, 46 RBIs. Owens here in Wichita, just 1 for 11 with a couple of runs scored. He pulls one foul off Palmier. We speculated today who might start the game. Of course, Mason Palmier was one of the names that was brought up. Right now, it's Johnny Holstaff. And, of course, the lefty Zach Philbin gets the first call to the bullpen. Palmier's pitch in on the hands. That had good location. Owens fights it off, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, when we were talking about that earlier, we talked about Palmier. We talked about Zach Moore. We didn't really talk about Philbin, but he's someone who's well-rested also.
And the only lefty on the pitching staff. That pitch in the dirt. Palmier, your typical 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, changeup. 1-2 pitch. There's the slider, and it just misses outside. 2-2 to Owens. So an exciting start to this one. Couple of home runs. Unfortunately, Johnson County's had a couple people on. Hard hit ball left side, backhand to stop Dylan Edmond. Sets his feet and pours it across in time for out number 2. That was a really strong throw for Dylan Nedved.
Isn't it? That play is really indicative of the improvement he's made throughout the season. Some early season struggles as the Blue Dragons were replacing not just an all-star, all-league, but a shortstop who's in the Detroit Tigers system and a second baseman who was the National Player of the Year and tearing it up at A&M.
There's a ground ball by Burgess, knocked down by the first baseman. Baxley, he recovers, flips to Palmier covering, and the inning is over. But Ty Herrenbruck's 3-run home run, 3 runs, 3 hits, and nobody left after 1. Our new score, Cavaliers 3 and the Blue Dragons 1. Welcome back to Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. I'll only be able to say that for the Region 6 tournament for possibly 2 more days. The old ballpark downtown's coming down after the wingnut season. That in and of itself is sad, but this ballpark is old and it's in places very run down.
It's tired.
But it is a great ballpark to watch a ball game. The Wingnuts have a lot of neat promotions for the final year here. And they're going to wear all the old Wichita-affiliated uniforms on certain nights. It's going to be a very cool year for the Wingnuts.
See some Wichita Arrows and
Wichita Pilots. Zach Baxley to lead off a 7-game hitting streak for Bax. He had 1 hit this afternoon and 4 trips.
Told somebody the other day that the Wichita Arrows here, when they were here, were an affiliate of the Montreal Expos. And
who?
They just stared blankly at me. Had no idea who I was talking about.
2 balls of the count to Zach Baxley. 342 hitter, 6 home runs, 37 driven in for the regular season and postseason combined. That pitch misses outside. Baxley 7 for 20 in the postseason with 4 doubles, 1 RBI, and 3 runs scored. 3-0 now to Baxley. Dante Lowry into his 2nd inning of work. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start the 2nd for Hutchinson.
Well, not what Kent Shelley wanted to see out of the Johnson County dugout when you get a 3-run lead or a 3-1 lead and then a 4-pitch walk to lead off the top of the next inning.
Here's Julian Ripp hitting .297 for the season, 9 home runs, 41 RBIs. Earlier today, Julian was 1 for 3 with a triple and a couple of RBIs. Breaking pitch for a strike. This year against left-handed pitching, Hutchinson as a whole hitting .327, hitting .320 against right-handers. Ripp a .462 hitter against lefties. The pitch. There's a bunt. Left base had a good one. Fielded by Lowry. Spins, throws. Safe. Ripp had it beat out. Williams didn't hold the ball, but it's going to be an infield bunt single for Ripp.
You had a feeling as soon as that left his bat that with his speed, that was going to be a difficult play by the Cavalier third baseman to try to beat him. So now Scotty Wolverton comes up, and here's a question for you, Carp. The way Scott's been hitting the ball yesterday and today, I mean, this is a bunting situation. What do you do?
I say you bunt, but he had 7 total bases today, 2 doubles and a triple. His 4th triple of the year.
Cavaliers expecting the bunt.
Not bunting, and Wolby swings through and misses. That day today brought Wolverton's batting average all the way up to .288. 21 total hits, 8 doubles, 4 triples, 1 home run, and 18 RBIs. Infield of the corners, even with the bags. Looking bunt, middle infield with double play depth. Now Scotty shows bunt, pulls back and takes strike 2 on the outside corner. The Dragons have not been a consistently good bunting team this year. They have 33 sacrifices. Wolverton has 1.
It's not out of the question to see it here, but with 0-2, you wouldn't expect it.
Lowry's 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. So missed opportunity for the Dragons there. Now first and second, 1 out for designated hitter Zion Bowen. Zion hitting .316 for the season, 43 total hits, a couple of home runs, and 33 RBIs.
This is first at-bat of the series since it has moved to Wichita, 2 for 3 in a game at Hobart Detter against Coffeyville.
Very aggressive hitter is Zion. He takes it a little bit low, ball 1. Baxley at second, Ripp at first. They play Bowen pretty much straight away in moderate depth in the outfield. Lowry's 1-0. Off speed misses outside, and it's 2-0 to Bowen. This will be an adjustment for Bowen. He's always been aggressive. Right now he needs to show a little patience and get his pitch up in the count, 2 balls and no strikes with an RBI opportunity at hand. Now the 2-0 from Lowry. Runners go, and the hit and run is on. Fly ball to left. Now the Dragons are going to have to get back, and this is going to be a double play. The hit and run was on, and Zach Baxley gets doubled off at second base, and a promising start to the second goes for naught. The Dragons hit into a double play on a hit and run, and they're turned away in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Johnson's 3 and the Dragons 1. Obviously, Carp's many hours up is causing a bit of dyslexia. That was a fly ball to right field, not left. Thank you for Denny for pointing that out to me.
Yeah, they realigned those a couple of years ago.
Those darn rule changes. Jake Karst to lead off the second for the Cavaliers, and this all of a sudden becomes a very big inning for Mason Palmier, who was touched up for 3 hits, including a 3-run home run by Ty Herrenbruck. He will face Jake Karst, who's hitting 279 for the year, but 9 home runs and 38 RBIs. This ball 1 to Karst.
Those 3 Cavalier runs in the bottom of the first came on a total of 5 pitches, so they were very aggressive in the box. And
there's a pitch popped up in foul territory. Wolverton giving a look. He's back to the net, but it lands on the net for a foul ball. Karst here in Wichita, 4 for 10, including a home run and an RBI. Johnson County's hit 3 long balls here. Chaz Burgess with 2 and Karst, and now 4 with Herrenbrucks. 1-1 pitch. Curveball, slow roller to third. Wyatt Davis has it. Low throw, dug out by Baxley.
Nice job keeping his foot on the bag.
There's 1 away. Zach Baxley has turned into a very fine defensive first baseman. He's saved many errors over the last month from this Blue Dragon infield.
There's a lot of pressure on him, too, with Brady Hoover in the house, critiquing likely every move he makes.
And if Sean Hoover in Omaha is watching, and we called him the vacuum in 2010. We still call him the vacuum. Check swing foul by Nick Supple, the designated hitter.
Palmier slated to head to Southeast Missouri State next year. Is that not correct, Carp?
That is correct.
Head coach at Southeast Missouri is?
Don't remember.
Oh, my goodness.
That's 2 tonight.
That's 2?
Ground ball short. Nedved has it. And he throws the first in time, 2 away.
You may jump out of the press box when I answer this one for you.
You're going to have to answer it.
Former Blue Dragon head coach?
Andy Sawyers.
Andy Sawyers.
I forgot he moved to Southeast Missouri State. But heck, Andy's been all over the Big 12. Nebraska, K-State, Texas A&M. I expected him to still be in the Big 12. I forgot he moved to Southeast Missouri State. Andrew coached here in 01 and 02. Ball 1 low to the shortstop, Matt Johnson. He's the 9-hole hitter. Palmier's pitch. Nice off speed. Johnson fooled on it way out in front. It was a 74-mile-an-hour pitch from Palmier. So maybe that home run got a little fire in Mason. Throwing a little more aggressive this inning. And that's the one thing that Mason Palmier has done hasn't done is pitched aggressive. He has tried to nibble, and he's gotten himself into bad situations. And he's given a lot of multi-run home runs up like tonight. High fly into foul territory. It's the second baseman, Sartori, making a Willie Mays-style basket catch. And it's a 1-2-3 Cavaliers second. We head to the third. Dragons trail 3-1. On to the third inning at Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. The Blue Dragons, the guest team on the scoreboard, trailing Johnson County 3-1. Steve Carpenter, Daddy Steckline with you. Brandon Sams and Cherie Sams over on the controls to our right. On a gorgeous Sunday evening for baseball. And the Dragons trying to extend their season one more game. They have work to do. It'll be the top of the order, Brock Schaefer, Logan Sartori, and Wyatt Davis. Brock Schaefer was caught looking his first time up. Schaefer now in the postseason, 8 for 27. 379 on base in 6 postseason games for Brock. He had that 6 RBI game yesterday against Neosho County. Breaking pitch taken a little bit high. That was a career high. He's the 9th Dragon with 6 RBIs in the game and the 13th Dragon with 6 or more, or 4 with 7 RBIs, excuse me. Schaefer hits one hard but foul. Look at Toby Cornejo. And then he airmails the throw. Now, the thing is, Mel, who was looking down in disgust, missed the horrible throw from Toby back to the pitcher because the third baseman had to field the throw. For those of you,
Mel was disgruntled because he knew as soon as Toby fielded that thing, that Mel was going to get thrown under the bus on Twitter.
1-1 pitch.
Which he still likely will at some point.
A little bit low. Well, it's like a day ending in Y. Of course Jamel's going to get thrown under the bus on Twitter.
What's up with the boot that he's wearing? Not on the field, but I saw him hobbling into the dugout. What's up with that?
A home-related injury while mowing the grass. A little bit low to Schaefer, and it's 3-1. Dragons had a very good start to the second inning when Zach Baxley walked and Julian Ripp singled. Scott Wolverton unable to move them up, and then Zion Bowen on a hit and run lined into a double play to right field. 3-1 to Schaefer. Breaking pitch in for a strike, and it's 3-2.
I texted Jamel the other night, and I said, rumor has it you're sporting a boot. You can come clean with how it happened or allow Carp and I to come up with our own version of the story. And he wouldn't come clean.
Well, I do have the official version of the story. Ground ball to first. Malik Williams has it. And he'll take it to the bag and win the race with Schaefer, one out here in the third. Mel was mowing, and he was mowing around his deck and knocked something out of place while he was mowing around it. A little bit later, he was walking along that side again and kicked whatever he displaced and did something to his foot, and he has to wear a boot. That's the story. It was kind of anticlimactic. Logan Sartori slips out of the box as he grounds it to third. Ty Herrenbruck makes the throw 2 away here in the Dragon third.
Did he elaborate on what it was that he kicked? Because to do enough damage to your foot that you're wearing a boot, and we've both seen Jamel walking. He couldn't have been moving fast enough to do a lot of damage. So it's got to be something pretty significant.
I'm trying to recall. It was something on the bottom of the deck. We'll try to get clarification on that as the evening goes on. Wyatt Davis, the lone Blue Dragon run, a home run in the first, his 16th of the year. Wyatt now with 26 career home runs. That's 4th all-time in Blue Dragon history. Of course, Caden Doge with 41, the career leader. He had 31 of those in 1 year. Over but low, and it's 2-0 to Div. Bobby Morgenson would be next if Divis can extend the inning.
Wyatt moving on to the University of Texas at Arlington next season.
Another Husker getting away from the Husker baseball team. Never been many. The pitch. Div takes a shot to left, taking into foul territory. Sullivan gives chase, and it falls out of play. Saw an interesting call earlier today, Denny. Brandon, if you want to pan down the left field line real quick, I want to point this out. That tent down there is actually dead territory. A ball rolled into there, and they called it a ground rule double. It's the first time I've ever seen it. But that's part of the ground rules here at Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. 2-1 to Divis. Lowry's pitch. Way high, 3-1.
You know, there are a lot of nuances with this ballpark. We joked about it in this morning's game. Foul territory, especially down the left field line, is reminiscent of what we see in Oakland. Just acres and acres. In a pop foul like the one Wyatt had, it's going to be hard-pressed for anybody to get to that.
3-1 pitch. Line shot and a leaping shortstop. Matt Johnson makes the catch, and the Dragons go in order in the top of the third. 3-1 Johnson County. Bottom of the third coming up. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Little Bruce Springsteen playing on the LD sound system, Born in the USA.
I know this is your playlist that they're using, which is the same computer that we use at Hobart Detter Field. We need to introduce the red shirts that run that at Hobart Detter to that playlist.
Yes, we do. They keep hiding that. Todd Moore, the Barton AD, over next to us. Here's Mason Hartman to lead off the third, 3-1 Johnson County. Ground ball past the diving Wyatt Davis. Johnson County continues to swing early in the count, and Hartman's now 2 for 2. He grounds one through the left side. 4 hits now off Mason Palmier. Now retires a streak of 6 in a row retired by the Dragon right-hander. And Brian Sullivan, the left-hander, stands in. He singled and scored ahead of Herrenbruck's home run. Herrenbruck on deck. Pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Scotty Wolverton. Yeah. Just kind of on a personal note, whenever this season ends, whether it be tonight in Grand Junction, whatever, there's a swing and a high chopper foul by Sullivan, and it's 1-1. Personally, for me, the baseball sophomores and the softball sophomores, they are two groups that I have become very close to. There are just some groups you have that with, and these two groups have just been magnificent for their sports over the last 2. A lot of wins, Line shot over Baxley down into the corner. On his way to third is Hartman. They will wave him around. Here comes the throw. It misses the cutoff, and Johnson County leads it 4-1. Sullivan just roped that one right over Baxley. Hardly had a chance to react. An RBI double for Sullivan. And the Blue Dragons cannot afford to fall very much farther behind. Yes, they can score a lot of runs, but that's a tall task against the Kent Shelley coach team.
That's going to get Zach Philbin up, and Zach is probably really close to being ready. He had set down after that second inning where Palmier retired the Cavaliers in order, but he's going to get back up and get hot. So as you talked earlier, pitching staff by committee tonight in this one for both teams. It's win or go home. And so we expect to see them run through a lot of arms if needed.
Ball 1 to Herrenbruck on a fastball low. Palmier steps off. Mason, a very quiet kid. Now he calls for Scott Wolverton to come out to check the signs. But, Wyatt Davis, Bobby Morgenson, all the sophomores. And then, the sophomore girls, Cameron Pope, DJ Cannon, those 7 sophomores. Just a great bunch of kids and great ambassadors for Hutchinson Community College. And it's just been a pleasure working with them the last 2 years. I mean, I hope this thing ends in Grand Junction. I do every year. But it would be great for these sophomores to get to go. But a lot of work to be done before that can happen. Swing and a miss on a changeup. 77 miles per hour, and it's 1-1 to Herrenbruck.
Well, and not only that, but, we see the softball girls coming over here tonight. The baseball guys go to their games, and you see them all at basketball and carrying over to other sports. We've got former Blue Dragons in the stands tonight and chiming in on the live stream as well.
That's up the middle. Sartori gets to it, bobbles. On to first, the throw pulled him off. We're going to give that a single. That was hardly a routine play.
So the top of the order for the Cavaliers now through 2 at-bats is 6 for 6 against Mason Palmier.
Now the biggest power hitter the Cavaliers have, Malik Williams. This young man is listed at let me find it here, 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's every bit of that. Strike called on the outside corner. His exit velocity is fierce. He had a couple of line shots today against KCK that undressed KCK pitchers. They were impressive. Line shot up the middle. That's going to land in front of Schaefer. A run will come home, and it's 5-1 Johnson County.
And Ryan Schmidt's not going to waste any time. He's thought he was getting ready to come up the stairs, and indeed he is. He's not made a call yet.
Philbin should be ready. So a tough start for Mason Palmier, making his first start since April 14th. And there's a call to the bullpen. And Mason Palmier will depart with 2+ innings pitched, and he leaves trailing 5-1. We'll tell you about the new Blue Dragon pitcher after this break. Zach Philbin, the lefty out of Omaha, Nebraska, gets his first assignment out of the pen for Ryan Schmidt. Philbin's had a very solid year, on for the 20th time, 19th in relief, 2-1 record and a 4.64 earned run average. 21 in the third innings pitched for Philbin. He's allowed 21 hits, 16 runs, 11 have been earned. 12 strikeouts, his bugaboo, 17 walks. Opponents hitting .253 against. But Philbin, his last several times out, been very tough.
Been very productive, and we're going to need that productivity this evening with the Cavaliers with runners at first and second. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. 2 runs already across to make it a 5-1 Johnson County lead.
Center fielder Jacob Bowens grounded out to Dylan Nedved on a nice backhanded stop by the freshman. Dragons could use a double play here. Johnson County has already turned 1. Philbin checks the runners, now delivers. Pitch sails outside, ball 1. Third baseman Wyatt Divis in on the grass, looking bunt. First baseman Zach Baxley not holding the runner. He's right on the grass line. Again, this is artificial turf, but the green stuff that's supposed to look like grass.
The green carpet.
1-0 pitch. Cued off the end of the bat, right off the press box to our right.
They keep the window down. That's why they didn't die.
Brandon Sams had visions of having to duck out of the way. Just remember, you'll have to save one of the cameras, Brandon, ours. Now Philbin's 1-1. Just misses inside, maybe a little bit low, and it's 2-1. Mark Patrick from the Jayhawk Conference into the booth now. Him and I have worked every one of these tournaments together. All 15 of them. The pitch. Lifted out of play to the right, 2-2. Obviously a web gem from the stands. I didn't have the angle on it, but the crowd reacted. Had to be a Blue Dragon fan and came over from the first base side.
That might be someone with the last name Schmidt.
Uh-oh. One of the little ones?
No.
Or Missy?
No. He was sitting next to Papa Schmidt, Greg.
Ah. 2-2 count on Jacob Owens.
I don't know if it was Schmidt's brother or...
Well, it's in the blood if it's a Schmidt. Here's Philbin's 2-2. Curveball, whoa. May have been outside, and now it's a full count to Owens.
You remember that game yesterday, Carp? It was our game. We're working, and they're getting ready to deliver the pitch, and a ball comes bouncing out to home plate.
Yeah.
We've solved that mystery.
Okay. The answer is?
I'll tell you after you call this pitch.
3-2 pitch from Philbin. Chop to the right side. Baxley gets it. Goes to second for one, and that'll be the only play. It'll be a 3-6 fielder's choice. Runners at the corners and one away for Chaz Burgess, the right fielder.
Well, we suspected on that ball because it was a foul ball, rattled around up there in the stands quite a bit. We suspected it maybe just made its way back onto the field. In reality, what happened, it's made its way into the hands of one Greg Schmidt, who just flipped it out to the field, not realizing they're getting ready to deliver the next pitch. So,
well, we always say, throw the balls back in play. The Region 6 committee only has a limited number of baseballs over 5 days.
He was only doing what he was asked to do.
Exactly. So, no fault there of Greg Schmidt. Chaz Burgess 0 for 1. Now, Zach Philbin and Scott Wolverton want to get on the same page with the signs. 81 degrees at 8:33. The wind's still blowing out of the south at 10 to 15. It's been steady outside of a brief moment yesterday where the flag just died for a few minutes.
Yeah,
during the Neosho County game.
It's not blowing any stronger than what it did this morning, and we were looking at that before the 10 a.m. first pitch thinking if it was already doing that, what's it going to be doing by mid-afternoon? And we really never saw that. It remained pretty constant throughout the day.
Now Burgess 0 for 1. Dragons could use a double play here. Pitch a little bit low. Dragons trail 5-1. Still a lot of baseball to be played, but right now the Dragons need to shut down the Cavaliers. Johnson County 5 runs on 7 hits. One of them has left the yard, a 3-run home run by Ty Herrenbruck. The pitch.
Nice pitch
Strike
by
on
Zach.
the inside corner. Burgess flinched like he was trying to get out of the way, and all of a sudden, Robert Dickinson throws the right hand out for a called strike. 1-1 now to Burgess. Shows bunt and bunts it foul.
He
Actually
just missed that
through
one.
it.
He missed that one.
1-2. Burgess in the first game of the tournament, Johnson County was playing Barton. High sky, and he misplayed a ball, ran up on it, it landed 15 feet behind him, allowed 2 runs to score for the Cougars, and broke that game open as Johnson County was run ruled. Close pitch, called a ball. Count 2-2, and the Dragon fans letting Robert Dickinson hear it a little bit.
In some ways, you think umpiring would be an easy job because someone's always there telling you what needs to happen.
Runner goes from first, swing and a miss. That's a strikeout throw down, not in time. But Burgess goes down on strikes. Owens steals second. Second and third, 2 outs for the catcher, Jake Karst.
Catcher number 33, Jake Karst.
Karst, his first time up, grounded to Wyatt Divis at third. The pitch. Change up, swung on and missed. I don't know how much of the broadcast you cut on Friday, Denny, as you were getting ready for graduation up in Hutch, but kind of brought the whole season together. Everybody was so excited with those preseason rankings. number 7 in the NJCAA, number 10 in Baseball America. That pitch just misses outside. The coaches knew. I mean, there was just too much to rebuild to be at that level at that time.
They didn't subscribe to that. Of course, they didn't come out and tell the team that. But, the conversations we were able to have with them, they knew that was a little bit lofty because at that point they hadn't played a game yet. And like we touched on earlier, they were replacing, not just middle infield with Hellman and Shane Cooper, but a lot of experience. And
I called it the infield in every once 100 years infield. That's how good that infield was last year. 3-1 now to Cars to bad one would load them up. Even beyond that, the replacing Nolan Hoffman is the one gun. That was huge. And that was a role that really still has not been solidified. The pitch. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Nate Supple. He grounded out to Dylan Nedved, who made a nice backhanded stop and a long throw deep in the hole.
You mentioned Hoff, and we'll touch on that. But I want to get into a little more detail about him, so we won't do it. We'll let you call this situation here, but the success he's having at A&M, let's talk about that as well here in a little bit.
Philbin's first pitch misses low, ball 1. No room to put him. So that ball skipped away from Scott Wolverton, but no advancement. Dragons trail at 5-1 here in the third, and Johnson County threatens to blow it wide open.
Currently no further action taking place in the Blue Dragon bullpen. So Coach Schmidt's going to let Moose ride this one for a while.
Pitch misses outside. Supple lays off, and it's 2-0. So advantage Supple. Philbin comes set now, the 2-0 pitch. There's a strike at the knees. Good location, 2-1. The Blue Dragons themselves, even before the season started, had 4 scholarship pitchers on the shelf. That was a tough loss to the pitching staff. Ground ball into center field, a base hit. Herrenbruck scores. Owens, he'll be waved at score. Cars to third, and it's 7-1 Johnson County, and the Dragons are at the brink of the abyss right now, trailing by 6. So Supple drives in a couple with a 2-out single. 9th batter of the inning is Matt Johnson. He fouled out his first time.
First and third now for the Cavaliers, and there goes someone headed to the Blue Dragon bullpen. Looks like Matt Hopkins. Matt with a couple of appearances already in this tournament for Hutch, couple of effective outings.
Philbin misses outside, ball 1 to Johnson, the 9-hole hitter. Johnson County now with 8 hits to Hutchinson's 2. The pitch. Lifted to right field, shallow. In comes Julian Rip, still coming, and he'll make the basket catch to end the inning. Nice running catch for the Flying Dutchman.
And a great read by Julian, because even up here, that's a little misleading, and he broke immediately on that, came in to make the snag.
4 runs, 5 hits for the Cavaliers in the third. They leave 2, and after 3, it's Johnson County 7 and Hutchinson 1. Welcome back to Lawrence-Dumont Stadium in Wichita, everybody. Rough start for the Blue Dragons, trailing Johnson County 7-1 in this third-round elimination game of the Region 6 tournament. There are some storms off to the west, but they're still out by Kinsley, Greensburg, kind of in that line all the way going up to Hayes and La Crosse. Dragons need to get the bats going. Bobby Morgenson will lead it off. He was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Dante Lowry is allowed just one run on 2 hits to 1 run. Wyatt Divis's 16th home run of the year.
Dragons need to keep in mind the roles were reversed in their game this morning. They were up 7-0 at one point, and Seward came back to make that a 9-8 game at one point. So certainly not out of reach.
Strike call. Now it's 1-1 to Bobby, the all-time RBI leader in Hutchinson history with 147. Tied for the all-time doubles record with 37 with Michael Hellman and Thad Weber. And Morgenson drives one high and deep to left, and it's gone. Bobby Morgenson's second home run of the day, just like Wyatt Divis's, the opposite way to left center field. And for Bobby, that is home run number 12 for the season, and now home run number 22, and he breaks a tie with Brad Flanders for 6th. So he's now alone in 6th place on the career home run list. Adds one more to his RBI total. And the Dragons down by 5. And again, I mentioned it today, a big lead in college baseball disappears faster than in any sport on the planet. Here's Nedved with a great bunt. The catcher Cars throws, and he's equal to the task, getting Nedved by a step. Nice play.
Nice play by Cars to hop out there and get the speedy Nedved.
Now Zach Baxley, he walked.
I'm dying to ask you, Cart, but I don't know that you've not done well on random trivia things tonight. Is Brad Flanders any relation to Ned?
We called him Nettie Flanders, but that's as far as it went.
Okay. And I'm going to be real disappointed. I know we've got a few members of the Johnson County branch of the Blue Dragon fan club tuned in. I'm going to be real disappointed if they didn't pick up on that one.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Baxley. He hits from a 0-2 hole. The Blue Dragons historically have not done well against Johnson County in Region 6 play. This goes all the way back to 2004 and John Wente's last year, where the Blue Dragons heavily favored against Johnson County in that best-of-3 opening round series at Hobart Detter Field, and the Cavaliers came in and dominated the Blue Dragons in a 2-game sweep. Time called as the pitch was delivered, and it turned into a Laren LaRue Efitz pitch. Let's see if anybody picks up on that one. 1-2 to backs. Lowry's delivery, and he struck him out. Lowry records his 3rd strikeout of the game. And now the Flying Dutchman, Julian Ripp. Just the second time EMS has come flying down McLean, and they were going at a pretty high rate of speed. Still no motorcycle drag races this week, and I'm proud of Wichita. Lowry's pitch to Rip outside ball 1. There was one of those little loud scooters last night that tootled down McLean, and it looks like Les Nessman on his mobile news scooter, and the Wichita Wingnuts kid running the scoreboard had no clue who Les Nessman was.
Oh, my.
Line to left, and
Nice
making
job.
a running
Nice
catch is
job.
Sullivan for the final out of the Dragon 4th. But the Dragons start chipping away. A Bobby Morgenson home run. Tallies 1 after 3.5. Johnson County 7 and the Blue Dragons 2. Welcome back to Lawrence-Dumont Stadium, everybody. And once again, a very happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and especially the baseball moms. Both Tina Carpenter and Michelle Steckline fit that mold to a T. So very happy Mother's Day to both. Tina's back up in Hutch, and Michelle down here.
Got to take her out for a nice Mother's Day lunch. Joined a lot of the Blue Dragon parents for that. Just across the parking lot at the Monarch. Gosh, what a great place. I don't know if you've ever rolled over to that place, Carp. But,
Indeed, I have.
Not a place to be missed here in Wichita.
Mason Hartman, 2 for 2, leads off the bottom of the fourth. And Zach Philbin starts him off with the strike, and I'm not sure, was there a Bronx cheer from the Dragon fans?
There was, and I don't think that was directed at Zach. That was directed at the gentleman in pink behind the plate, I'm quite certain.
Off-speed pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2 to Hartman.
They thought Zach might have been getting squeezed a little bit earlier.
Blue Dragon fans very discerning. The pitch, in on the hands. Good location from Philbin. Hartman's hands might be singing a little bit after that contact.
Down 5 to Johnson County in this tournament is nothing new to Hutch. Was that just 2 years ago? They were down 5-0 in the first inning, came back and tied it.
Bobby Malacki,
bottom of the 9th home run.
High fly, foul territory, giving chase to Zach Baxley, and he can't come up with it. That would have been a tough play, looking over his shoulder.
That and the breeze that there is pushing it back towards fair territory. You really, when you're running back like that, you don't know what spot do you need to find.
And the fielders have struggled with that wind. There is no windbreak on the south side of Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. The pitch just misses. The Bronx cheers turn into a little angrier tone from the Dragon fans after that pitch. 1-2 now to Hartman. Big lefty kicks and fires. That one goes all the way back to the screen, and it's 2-2 now to the Johnson County leadoff hitter.
That was the epitome of just a bit outside.
I was going to use a Bull Durham reference, but Major League works as well in that situation. Here's 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right back to Philbin. Fields clean, runs to first underhand, flips to Baxley, and they retire Hartman for the first time today. One away here in the fourth.
Not just Hartman, but the first time someone in the 1 through 3 spots in the order for the Cavaliers has been retired, now 6 for 7.
There's Brian Sullivan. 2 for 2, a single, a double, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Pitch inside and hit him. You can see that come right out of his hands. Sullivan wasn't going to get out of the way. It was only a 73-mile-per-hour pitch. So Sullivan aboard for the third straight time. And Ty Herrenbruck will be the batter. A home run and a single, 2 runs and 3 RBIs. Now Ryan Schmidt will come out. No action in the pen. So, guessing the fact that the pitch wasn't executed properly will get that one-on-one look. No, the pitching change will be made.
Well, I think what we're going to see is Dylan Nedved. I noticed when there was some activity down in the bullpen Ryan Moritz was down there playing catch, and Ryan wasn't doing that as a potential pitcher. He's coming in now at shortstop. And Dylan Nedved, who closed out the game this morning, is now going to toe the rubber for the Blue Dragons.
So indeed, that is the call. And we'll get you Dylan Nedved's pitching numbers after this quick break. So Dylan Nedved, who got his third save of the season this morning in Hutchinson's 12-8 win over Seward County, becomes the third pitcher of the evening for Ryan Schmidt. Nedved making his 15th overall appearance, 11th in relief, 4-1 with 3 saves and a 4.30 earned run average. 29 of the third innings pitched, 31 hits allowed, 19 runs, 14 of those earned. 3-1 strikeout to walk ratio with 30 strikeouts to 10 walks, and opponents hitting .252 against. Primary pitch for Dylan Nedved is the fastball. He's been working diligently on some secondary pitches. He will face Ty Herrenbruck. The music went off all of a sudden, and Robert Dickinson calls time. No pitch on the play. Sound room getting a little touchy.
See, we're not the only ones that like that playlist.
I know. It's a great playlist.
AC/DC?
You'll hear a lot of it at Monarchs games this year. You always do at Monarchs games. That's the playlist we've had for a while. Herrenbruck fouls the first true offering off for Dylan Nedved. Herrenbruck hitting his 14th home run of the year. He now has 75 RBIs, 2 off the team lead of Malik Williams. The 0-1. Off speed, pulled foul. Third base coach for the Cavaliers made a Jamel Cervantes type play and missed.
Textbook case of alligator arms right there.
David Canary, the third base coach for the Cavaliers, longtime coach. Kent Scheller, Johnson County, a Hall of Fame coach in the NJCAA. Recorded his 1,000th victory earlier this season. That was sprayed foul. There remains 0-2. Dave Burrows at Cali will go into the Hall of Fame this year. That's long overdue. At one time, the Jayhawk East had 4 Hall of Fame coaches. The pitch. Outside. Nice stop by Wolverton on a scoop. 1-2 the count.
Nedved got the save in the 12-8 Blue Dragon victory this morning. Pitched an inning and a third to close that out. Came in with it, a 1-run game, 9-8.
1-2 pitch misses, and it's 2-2. Let me clarify. 3 Jayhawk East coaches, and Galen McSpadden's Hall of Fame on the west side. So 4 Hall of Famers in the league. Burrows will join that list this year. Val McLean from Allen Community College, he's now retired, was the other Hall of Fame coach. Here's the pitch. High pop. And it's Logan Sartori checking charts. He's got it, and there's 2 out. In that run in 2010, Hutchinson had to face every one of those Hall of Fame coaches on the way to Grand Junction. A little oddity to the 2010 season. Now Malik Williams, runner at first 2 away. Williams 1 for 2 with an RBI single. His 78th RBI of the year. Malik pretty much takes up the entire batter's box. Breaking pitch for a strike.
He's a large individual, as you shared earlier, but he carries himself well.
Yes, yes. Very good baseball player. The pitch. Tied him up, and Nedved just misses inside. Pretty good-looking pitch, but it's 1-1 to Williams. Hutchinson's 2010 run to Grand Junction started in Overland Park. That was when it was the 4-team sub-regionals and the 4 winners came to Wichita. Pitch a little bit low, and it's 2-1. The Dragons lost to Johnson County the first meeting in Overland Park, and then rain set in. The Dragons defeated Allen to get back to the sub-regional championship. The pitch, a little bit outside, 3-1. And then
very careful approach.
Yeah. But rain set in at Overland Park, and the next 2 games had to be played on the all-turf field at Lawrence Free State. Of course, everybody knows the story. The Dragons came back and went to go to Wichita, and then ultimately to Grand Junction. High chopper right side. Sartori knocks it down and tries to scoop it to first. And what do you think?
That's a tough score. That's a tough play. It's far from routine.
We'll call an infield single. That with a high hop adding to it. That was not going to be an easy play. So it'll be an infield single for Williams. So 2 on, 2 out now. Johnson County with 9 hits. And the center fielder, Jacob Owens, the batter. That pitch taken a little bit low. Scotty Wolverton getting a workout. That's about the 5th one he's blocked in this inning. 7 runs, 9 hits for Johnson County, 2 runs, 3 hits for Hutchinson. Dragons have solo home runs from Divis and Morgenson. Line shot center field. This may plug the gap. Sullivan scores easily. Williams will be waived as the throw's just coming in now. And it's a 2-run triple for Jacob Owens, and it gets worse for Hutchinson now trailing 9-2. Ten hits now for Johnson County. 3 for extra bases, a double, triple, and home run. And the road to tomorrow is getting all the more rougher for Hutchinson. Ball 1 to Chaz Burgess. There's a swing and a miss. I say this not as a dig at our opponent this evening, but historically Johnson County has had one of the most annoying dugouts in the history of Region 6 baseball.
Well, there's this routine of, I guess calling it a golf clap for lack of a better description, but I had to check and make sure we were at baseball and not a softball game.
2-1 the count to Burgess. A little bit low, ball 3. That might draw the ire from some of our Johnson County listeners. Just an observation. Just an observation.
I don't say that with any intent to say that nothing like that ever comes from the Blue Dragon dugout, because we work enough games, we see it.
Yes, we do.
All the way around.
Chaz Burgess walks.
But on that note, don't you find it interesting, Carp? Why is that so prevalent in junior college baseball? Because at the next level, you don't see that type. You don't see that condoned, allowed.
Exactly.
You just don't see it happening.
Exactly.
So why does it happen at this level?
It's a great point, and I wish I had an answer for you. Here's Jake Karst, 0 for 1 with a walk. He hits one deep in the hole, fielded by Ryan Moritz. Throws another great dig by Zach Baxley, and the inning is over. Fine play all the way around from Moritz and Baxley, but Johnson County tacks on 2 more on a couple of hits. There was a walk and hit batsman in the inning. And after 4, it is Johnson County 9 and Hutchinson 2. Got to give some credit to Dante Lowry making his first start of the season. And outside of a couple of solo home runs to Wyatt Divis and Bobby Morgenson, he's held the rest of the team to just one hit over 4 innings and has been staked to a 9-2 lead as we enter the home half of the 5th.
Another shout out coming in from one of our Blue Dragon fans all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. Dave Hayden, a former Hutch resident, now living in Atlanta. Works for Kroger. Good to hear from you, Dave.
Coach Dave's son in baseball.
Yeah.
1 year. Ball 1 to Scott Wolverton. He struck out looking his first time.
Dave's better known by the term Coach Tall Guy. Which led to Phil Anderson being christened as Coach Bald Guy.
Yes. Coach Anderson was helping you out in the press box last week at Hobart Deader with the Coffeyville series as I was doing softball in Region 6 track. Pitch outside, 3-0.
Any day in the press box with Coach Anderson's a good day because he usually comes stocked with half of aisle 4 from Dillon's with peanut M&Ms, licorice, a whole bevy of snacks.
3-0 to Wolverton. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start the 5th for Hutchinson. Going to bring up Ryan Moritz. He'll be hitting for the first time.
Even with a 9-2 lead, not what Kent Shelley wants to see when you're facing the 8-hole hitter.
Moritz hitting .297, 2 home runs, 27 RBIs. He had a 3-run home run yesterday in the 20-3 win over Neosho County. Strike called. Moritz in the postseason 3 for 6 with that home run and 4 driven in.
His home run also went to the opposite way.
Strike 1 to the Dragons shortstop. Move over to first. Doubt the Dragons are in any true mood to run right now, down 7. They simply need base runners to attempt the comeback. That pitch knocked down by Karst.
Wolverton just 1 steal on the year in 1 attempt, but you're right. Down 7, you don't want to take any chances getting that runner thrown out.
That steal was on the back end of a double steal. The pitch. Strike in her half, 1-2.
Boy, you say that as if you want to take the credit away from Scotty for getting that stolen base.
I'm just saying that's where it came in. Noteworthy.
I'm defending the catcher, you know.
The Dragons have executed 11 double steals this year.
They have. Very true.
And very good at that. Lowry's 1-2. Slice foul. Care package has just been delivered.
How many is that for the day, Carp?
Shockingly, this is only number 6 because we ran out and had to run to Sam's. Otherwise, it could be at about 14 or 15 the way this day has gone.
Talking about Carp and his Coca-Cola.
Sydney, one of the interns, delivering. Moritz hits one down the left field line. Could be trouble. Diving attempt is missed. And it rolls to the wall. Sprinting around third is Wolverton. He'll score with ease. Moritz heading for third. He's in safely with an RBI triple. And the Dragons now trail it 9-3. Moritz with his first triple of the season, 28th RBI. And we'll see if that will get the Dragons sparked. Nice opposite field hit.
Top of the order coming up now. So a chance for the Blue Dragons to chip away further.
And from a Johnson County standpoint, I don't think you want, if you're Kent Shelley, you don't want Sullivan diving after that and potentially lighting the fuse for a big inning. That could be a triple. Runners at first and second, first and third at best without a run scored. So that's looking at it from the Johnson County. Then you cannot fault Sullivan for just trying to make a play.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's one thing to try to make that play when it's 9-2 at the time, now 9-3. As it would be in a 1 or 2 run game where keeping that run off the scoreboard is even more critical.
Schaefer 0 for 2. The infield will be playing back. They'll give up the run for an out. No outs here in the 5th. Lowry delivers, and it's inside, ball 1. A right-hander for Johnson County warming up. That is Tanner Reed, a freshman from Shawnee, Kansas.
I'm not sure Schaefer has seen a fastball tonight. He's seen a lot of off-speed pitches.
And one catches the end, the side, pitch at 76. And they are working the inner half over on Schaefer's Lowry. Obviously, that's the design on how to pitch to him. Schaefer had a huge day yesterday against Neosho, tying a career high with 4 hits and having career high 6 RBIs. Pitch inside, 2-1. That's one you might want to try to lean in and see if you can buy a base. Schaefer this year, a .399 on base. That's come up since he's been moved up to the leadoff spot in the latter stages of the regular season. 2-1 pitch, high and tight, 3-1. Schaefer started the year as the leadoff hitter, got off to a really tough start, steadily worked his way down the order, and about April 1st, hitting out of the 9-hole, finally started to find his stroke. And has been very solid and has moved back up to the leadoff spot where he's been very good. 3-1 misses, ball 4. Runners at the corners. The first 3 have reached to start the Dragon 5th.
That's going to prompt a visit out of the Johnson County dugout. Even with this situation, Kent Shelley's got to be pleased with what he's gotten out of Lowry, not having started before tonight on the season.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it in the pregame, pitchers normally having to be put into roles they're not accustomed to. Lowry is their closer with 5 saves. And I equated that with Andy Dirks back in 2005. When you come through the losers bracket, there's always 1 or 2 unsung heroes. And if this score stays the way it is, one of those unsung heroes for Johnson County will be Dante Lowry. And the Dragons have their own unsung heroes. Scotty Wolverton picking up the pace in the postseason. He's had a huge tournament down here. Matt Hopkins very quietly strong out of the bullpen. He's worked in 2 of the 3 games and has thrown 2 scoreless innings. Now Sartori looking for his first hit, 0 for 2, coming off back-to-back 3-hit games. Lowry comes set, taking his time now, delivers. And Sartori swings toward the gap right center field. On the run is Burgess. He'll chase it down. Tagging from third is Moritz. He will score. That's a 2-run 5th, and the Dragons are back within 5 now, trailing 9-4. Sartori will drive in run number 56 with his 8th sacrifice fly of the year. That's a player who knows the situation. He's able to get fly balls. His 8th sac fly of the year. And the Dragons now trail at 9-4 with Wyatt Divis stepping to the plate. First pitch, hacking, and Div fouls it off.
And the key for the Blue Dragons is going to be, whatever runs they're able to get here on the top of the 5th is answering in the bottom from a pitching and defensive standpoint.
Lefty-lefty match up the pitch. A little bit low now.
Schaefer
gets caught between first and second. He makes a run, and he's out.
Boy, I thought he was able to get his hand on the outside part of that bag, but
Schaefer caught trying to advance on a would-be wild pitch. It won't go down as a caught stealing, but a base running error cost the Dragons a base runner.
Nice job by Karst. That pitch was in the dirt, and he was able to control it quickly.
So now 2 out, bases empty for Divis. 1-1 pitch is swung and missed. That time Lowry challenged Div up in the zone and won that particular matchup. Now he's up in the count 1-2 on the Dragon third baseman. That home run was Davis's 125th career hit, still 12 away from the top 10. 1-2 pitch, misses, and it's 2-2.
And a mere 75 from the top spot held by Michael Hellman.
Good old Gilligan. That change we made on his walk-up in the Monarchs, that would be one of the best Monarch stories ever told.
No question.
Of the first 10 years. This will be the 10th year anniversary for the Monarchs this year. Time called as the pitch is delivered.
You know, Michael was struggling that summer with the Monarchs, and so we played Gilligan's Island, Laverne and Shirley, Andy Griffith.
Well,
of course, his wasn't his Britney Spears to begin with, which it should be against some baseball rule.
Hellman just had the girliest walk-up songs, and that's the only way you can put it. The pitch to Davis misses, low one in, full count. I always gave Mike a hard time about his choice of walk-ups. And then you and I just decided one night, let's do it.
We did.
Played Gilligan's Island, and he hits a bomb. Thus the nickname for Hellman, Gilligan, was born. Full count pitch, 2 out. Here it is. Div hits one high to left, drifting
That's
back
deep.
to Sullivan. Still going back at the fence, and he makes the catch. Had that been about 10 feet to the right, it would have been gone. There's one of those nuances of the Lawrence-Dumont Stadium outfield. That went into the well. If it's 10 feet right, that's a home run. But the Dragons continue to chip away. They get 2 in the inning. An RBI triple by Ryan Moritz and a sac fly by Logan Sartori. Halfway through in this one, Johnson County 9 and Hutchinson 4. Dragons with 2 in the top, now really forced to put up a goose egg in the bottom of the 5th, trailing Johnson County 9-4. Steve Carpenter, Denny Stackline, Brandon Sams, and Cherie Sams, the crew tonight here at Lawrence-Dumont, bringing you Region 6 baseball. And Dylan Nedved starts. Nate Supple up high, ball 1. Supple, a 2-run single in Johnson's 4-run third. Inside for ball 2-0. Pitching depth for Ryan Schmidt, and he made no bones about it. He knew with 4 scholarship pitchers, there's a chopper to the left side fielded by Divis to his left. Pours it across the back sleeve, and there's 1 away. Pitching depth was going to be a concern after losing those 4 scholarship pitchers for the season. And the pitching staff got to a very slow start. They were giving up early in the year an inordinate amount of home runs. They've gotten better, but pitching depth has been an issue for this team all year. Now Matt Johnson takes a strike at the knees from Nedved. Johnson 0 for 2.
You touched on earlier the preseason rankings of 7 and 10, and here we are. You know, they are unranked currently. But there's really nothing for them to hang their heads about with the way they've battled this season.
No. This has been a battling team, a very resilient team. 0-2 pitch. High chopper along third. Divis has it in fair territory. Strong throw. They got him by a step.
How about the play of Wyatt at third? And we talked about this morning. With his pitching, he'll DH, play third. And third, I think, is probably where he's going to at least get some opportunities at UTA next season. But look at the improvement. I mean, he laid out for one this morning and got up and made the throw. Really turning into a fine third baseman.
That was just an inherent play. He knew he had to play back and wait for the hop. There was nothing he can do, and then he threw a bullet to Maxley. First pitch swinging is Mason Hartman. He slices it foul. Hartman 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and 2 runs scored.
And with an arm, a pitcher's arm that Wyatt possesses, was able to get that one across.
Nedved kicks and fires. Pitch is over but low, and the count even at 1-1. Dragons won the first game of the day, defeating Seward County 12-8. Johnson County then eliminated crosstown rival KCK. Cowley is the undefeated team after a very tight victory in the winner's bracket final in the game preceding this one. Now the winner of this one moves to the loser's bracket final to face Barton. There's 4 teams remain in the tournament. Slider from Nedved misses outside, and it's 2-2. You know, I was talking about this on Friday, about this very subject, about where this team started and where it's come. There's a line shot to right field. It's down for a hit. Rip will get over, and that's Hartman's third hit of the game. That time going the other way. Pretty good pitch by Nedved, but equal to the task was Hartman. That'll bring up Brian Sullivan.
Well, now another one of those 2-strike situations where he's down in the count 1-2, works it even, and then is able to get a base hit out of it. And we'll see if Dylan here can work through this 2-out situation now, which has been another bit of an Achilles.
Long story short, the Dragons have improved dramatically over 2018. They were 1 game under 500 as a strike is called to Sullivan. They were 1 game under 500 after the Seminole State game back in early March, and then got to as many as, let me check my notes here, 17 games over 500. The pitch outside, and it's 1-1. So I said it on Friday, and I'll stand by it. This is really one of Ryan Schmidt's better coaching jobs, holding this thing together and getting it to this point. One of the last 4 teams remaining in the region. Sullivan lays off a pitch low and away, and it's 2-1. Schmidt in his 6th year. After 5 seasons at Pratt. Pitch outside, and it's 3-1. There were a lot of concerns when Kyle Crooks, after the 2012 season, announced his retirement. It's one of the most sought-after jobs ever. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. The applicants, they were well over 150 applicants for the job.
Yeah, it speaks well of not only the tradition of Hutchinson Community College, Blue Dragon athletics. I mean, a very coveted position. And, you know, we mentioned Andy Sawyers and the success he's gone on to at Southwest Missouri.
Call strike 3 outside corner, and Dylan Nedved puts up a goose egg in the 5th. So perhaps the comeback is on. We played 5 here in Wichita. Dragons trail Johnson County 9-4. Dante Lowry back out for the 6th inning for Johnson County. Wants a 7-run lead now down to 5. Hutchinson trailing 9-4. It'll be Morgenson, Nedved, Baxley, the middle third of the order. Dragons have had some big comebacks this year. Both to win and some near misses to win. One that recalls down in Northeast Texas, they were trailing 7-1, 8-1, and came back and win that when Ryan Moritz's pitch hit grand slam to tie it in 4 extra innings. And then Zach Baxley hit a 3-run bomb in the 10th to win it. Most recently, Hutchinson was trailing at Seward County 8-0, wound up losing 13-10. Bobby hit with the pitch for the 2nd time and a good start to the 6th.
Is that back to top 10?
That ties for 10th.
See, there we are, Carp. We didn't even get through the day.
To me, all year we've been off pace. Now we're cooking in terms of hit by pitches. Here's Nedved, 0 for 2. Dropped down a bunt his last time, and Jake Karst beat him by a step. Third base up, looking bunt. And Nedved hits the right side and through for a hit. Morgenson will make the turn and head for third. Nedved puts the brakes on. Now the throw gets away, but the Cavaliers back it up. We have seen a lot of misplays on missed cutoffs on this turf come back to hurt teams. So Nedved with his first hit, the 5th hit of the game for Hutchinson, and the Dragons have him on the corners with 1 out here in the 6th. That was a sweet piece of hitting. Nice inside-out swing.
So 2 pitches and now runners at the corners for Hutchinson.
Now Zach Baxley 0 for 1 with a walk. Action again going again in the bullpen. Lowry flirted with that 45-degree angle. I've only seen that called on a lefty once this year. Nedved, good speed at first. The pitch to Baxley. Jam shot, but he fouls it off. It's Bax. This will be an opportune time to extend his hitting streak to 8. Dragons about hit 11-5, but perhaps starting to find that offensive swagger again. Lowry's 0-1 upcoming. Here it is. Pulled foul. Jamel Cervantes ducks.
Almost ducked into it.
Baxley hit from an 0-2 hole. Right-hander warming up in the pen for Johnson County.
You notice that little peek up here by Jamel? He just knows.
Oh, he knows we're watching. Lowry's 0-2. Sprayed foul off to the right.
Ball comes flying in from somewhere, not really sure where. Up against the backstop now.
Baxley today was 1 for 5 with an RBI. He's extended that hitting streak his last 2 games with single game hits. Middle infield with double play depth. Once again, the 0-2. Pitch way outside. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Double play depth takes on a whole new meaning when you're playing on this turf, doesn't it?
It does, it does.
They're basically in shallow left center and shallow right center as quickly as the ball gets to them.
Lowry now at 74 pitches. Time called by Baxley. Again, he is the Johnson County closer, is Lowry. So you wonder how long he's gone in terms of pitching duration this year. Once again, the 1-2 misses low. Count evens at 2-2. So Baxley's battling. He's fouled off a couple of 2-strike pitches.
Got to think Kent Shelley's just going to try to milk him for everything he can, and you almost feel like it's teetering at that point right now to where another base runner, base hit for the Blue Dragons might spell the end.
Runner goes, and now they may have the runner to throw down. Now the double steal is on. Scampering back to third is Morgenson. He's back in safely. Wow, that was close.
That was very close.
Malik Williams double clutched on the throw, and that allowed Morgenson to get back in. It'll be a stolen base for Nedved, and the Dragons played with a little bit of fire. So Nedved will be credited with his 7th steal of the year at 8 attempts. Now it's second and third, nobody out. 2-2 to Baxley. Outside full count, didn't miss by much.
I'm not so sure Malik Williams double clutched as much as maybe pump faked, and Bobby bid on it and started to come down the line, and that was a really close play.
I saw the pump fake, but I still thought I saw a double clutch as he turned.
I turned to look to see where Bob was and saw that he had started to bite.
Payoff pitch to Baxley. Little chopper, but it's foul.
So Bax battled back from an 0-2 count. Now it's a full count.
Well, before the game with the softball girls came up, Cameron Pope said she was driving home to Woodward, Oklahoma after the game. It's going to be a while. We're in the top of the 5th inning.
You know, if we need anybody to talk to one of the umpires, I think Cam would be the one to do it, don't you?
Indeed. I mean, she has a history of knocking down umpires. That video still getting a ton of hits. 3-2 pitch. Baxley pops one up, and it'll get back out of play.
Nice work by Bax.
That just tells you society, though. That happened on April 17th against Highland out at Fun Valley. Brent Stockman robs a home run to save the game, and then in the second game, Cameron Pope knocks down the umpire to make a play behind the plate. That count now is 9-1 in terms of 9-1 in favor of Cam. That's crazy. Once again, the payoff to Baxley. Outside ball 4, and Baxley works a walk to load him up. Julian Ripp will be the batter. Ripp has a history of big home runs. He has 3 3-run home runs and 1 grand slam this year.
They get a tip of the hat from the Johnson County bullpen saying we're ready down here.
So
kind of a waiting game.
Lowry up to 79. I think what Shelley is doing is waiting for Ripp to be announced. And not sure if he has been.
I don't think so. There have been a few instances where we're getting the announcement on the second pitch.
There's Julian Ripp, bases loaded, nobody out. Dragons have their chance. Now they need to take advantage. The pitch to Ripp. Strike on the outside corner, a slow breaking pitch at 73. And Ripp 3 3-run home runs and 1 grand slam this year. Hutchinson has 4 grand slams on the season. Lefty kicks and fires. Ripp slices one foul, and he's going to have to battle from an 0-2 hole. Julian Ripp, 9 home runs this year.
None more special than the one he hit at Dodge City. His parents and sister had come over from the Netherlands to spend some time with them, and he hit a long one out to left on a very windy day. Into the wind.
12 home runs for Ripp's career at Hutchinson. The pitch. Lifted high and deep left center field. This is going to plug the gap. And stay in. 1-run scores, 2-run scores. They're waving Baxley. Here comes the throw. It's a pump fake. He's in safely. It's a 3-run triple for Julian Ripp. And the Dragons are back in it, now trailing 9-7. Ripp comes through again in the clutch. Didn't quite get all of it, and I was hoping it wouldn't bounce over for
my worry.
Double.
How big was that?
It caught the upper part of that
and the
fencing and stayed in, and now Kent Shelley goes to the pen to make the pitching change. Folks, we got a ball game again. The Dragons trailed once by 7, now trail by 2, 9-7, and the Dragon fans are whooping it up. We'll tell you about the new pitcher after this break. Tanner Reed, a freshman from Shawnee, Kansas, 6'2", 165-pounder, comes in for Kent Shelley. Julian Ripp just hit a bases-loaded clearing triple. And Hutchinson has scored 6 runs in their last 3 at-bats to cut the Johnson County lead down to 9-7. The numbers on Tanner Reed. And according to Johnson County's stats, I am not seeing Tanner Reed listed as an appearance this year. Unless my eyes have really gotten bad, but I don't see him listed, Denny. Maybe you do. So Dante Lowry was making his first start. And now we see Tanner Reed.
I'm with you, Carp. There's nothing on the stat sheet I've got that lists him. The only thing that could be that, if we're not aware of, would have been a number change on someone's part, but
that should have been informed, as I'm also the official scorer, but they have him listed as an infielder, so maybe Kent Shelley's rolling the dice. Right now we have no way of completely clarifying what we're seeing in terms of the numbers and read out there. So Scott Wolverton will bat. He represents the tying run now. The first 4 have reached here in the 6th. Morgenson hit by a pitch. Nedved singled. Baxley walked. And then Julian Ripp cleared him with a 3-run triple. So Ripp at third, nobody out. Wolverton 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. High and tight, ball 1. Long way to go now in this one. The Dragons have come back to life. And, you know, we shouldn't be surprised.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. It's been their nature.
Big cut by Wolverton, a little bit late. That was an 86-mile-per-hour fastball from Reed. Dragons have been out hit 11-6. Infield back for the Cavaliers, the pitch. Slider outside, 2-1 to Wolverton. After Wolverton, it will be Ryan Moritz. Reed's pitch. Breaking pitch, swung through and missed, and it's 2-2. That pitch has really been tough on Scott this year.
It has. That might have been ball 3 out there. It was sweeping away. It's easier to see how he offered at it. It's easier for us to see that from up here.
Swinging a miss, strike 3, an 87-mile-per-hour fastball, and Wolverton the first out of the 6th inning. Now Ryan Moritz, an RBI triple his last time up. With 2 triples tonight, the Dragons now have 4 for the postseason, all here in Wichita. Moritz late on that fastball. 0-1. This is a triples-type ballpark. There's no question. Again, an asymmetrical, symmetrical type field. The field looks symmetrical, but there's so many little quirky twists and turns out in the outfield. It's asymmetrical. Pitch inside. Somebody yelled, "Wear it" from the dugout. 330 down the lines, and immediately it drops off to 385 in the gaps, 400 to dead center.
Moritz is still a freshman, still learning that hit-by-pitch routine that's expected of him.
High and tight, 2-1. Earlier this year, Ryan Moritz had a pinch-hit grand slam down to Northeast Texas, and then Zach Baxley backed him with a 3-run home run in the 10th. Taking all the way, that's a strike, and it's 2-2.
And before yesterday, I think that was Ryan's only home run of the season, was it not?
Yes, it was. That's been the only pinch hit home run by a Blue Dragon this year. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. So Reed, although he's not showing any stats, 2 big strikeouts. Now it's a runner at third, 2 away for Brock Schaefer. Brock 0 for 2 with a walk. Dragons would love to get Rip in from third somehow, some way, and Schaefer takes inside ball 1. 3 already in the cross in the inning, so Hutchinson's back in it. And now, like you said earlier, it's up to the pitching staff to maintain this position. Way outside, 2-0 to Schaefer. It's a high drive down the right field line.
Well, that's a mile in the air.
The line is Burgess. He's got it. Had a little trouble with it, but he makes the catch. And the Dragons are done in the 6th. But a bases clearing triple by Julian Rip. 3 runs on 2 hits. And there was 1 left on. The Dragons have scored 6 in their last 3 ABs. And now Dylan Nedved goes in search of another Johnson County goose egg. 5.5 in the books. Johnson County 9 and Hutchinson 7. Steve Carpenter, Denny Steckline back with you at Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. The Dragons have closed the gap to 2. It was once 7. Now assistant coach David Canary having a quick chat with Robert Dickinson. Ty Herrenbruck to lead off the 6th for Johnson County. It's Herrenbruck, Williams, and Owens. 3, 4, 5 to face Dylan Nedved. And Nedved misses ball 1. Nedved now 1 2/3 innings. 3 hits, 1 run, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Big inning for the Dragons to try to shut the Cavaliers down and keep the comeback going. There's a swing and a miss by Herrenbruck, and it's 1-1.
Only 2 innings to this point. They've kept the Cavaliers off the scoreboard, but that's going to have to become the norm as we get to the later parts of this game.
Pitch a little bit outside. And as suspected, we had a number change. David Hernsdorf is the pitcher. Davis Hernsdorf. And that makes sense.
Who is number 6 on our roster here. That would have been his 12th. This is his 12th appearance. Half of those in relief. An ERA of an even 9.00.
2-0 to Herrenbruck, so I'll get that changed in the stats computer. 2-2 pitch in on the hands. Good pitch from Nedved, and Herrenbruck fouls it off. That pitch misses, full count. Didn't miss by much. Payoff pitch, high chopper along third. It will bounce foul. So Davis Ahrensdorf, the pitcher. It makes a little more sense from what we were seeing. That did not look like a player who hadn't thrown an inning all year.
Yeah, and a head coach with over 1,000 career wins isn't going to bring in someone who hadn't thrown a pitch all season in this type of situation.
3-2 to Herrenbruck. leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the sixth, and he fouls one off his foot. From the SID standpoint, it is the responsibility of every coach and every SID to have those rosters on the conference website up to date. And obviously Johnson County's is not. And I just relayed that information on to their athletic director.
I was going to say, don't you think we know their athletic director, don't we?
Yes, we do. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Pretty good battle between Nedved and Herrenbruck. And if you're Dylan Nedved, you just got to keep challenging. You don't want to nibble on 3-2. If he hits his way on, he hits his way on. You just don't want to have a leadoff walk. Once again, 3-2 pitch. There's a line shot into left field. Runner at first regardless, but from a mental standpoint, a leadoff walk just hurts a lot more than a leadoff single.
And credit to Herrenbruck on that at bat. He battled and battled, and Nedved kept throwing strikes, and he kept fouling them off till he got one he could handle.
Herrenbruck now 3 for 4, as is Mason Hartman. They have 6 of Johnson County's 12 hits. Now Malik Williams, 2 for 3, a couple of singles, a run scored and an RBI. The pitch. Going outside, ball 1. Good sweeping stop by Wolverton. Dragon bullpen quiet. The pitch. Low 2-0. Ryan Schmidt is hoping Dylan Nedved, he's also started 4 games this year, can eat up some innings and give the Dragons a chance at the end. 3-0.
And just like that, Carp, the action starts in the Blue Dragon bullpen. That 3-0 pitch prompted Matt Hopkins to get up and again get warm.
Strike called on the cripple pitch. 3-1 to Williams. Malik Williams, north of the border from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Swing and a miss, big cut. And Nedved runs the count back to full, 3-2.
Good day, eh?
Well, the entire country of Canada is rooting for the Winnipeg Jets, who took the lead in the Western Conference Finals last night. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice comeback from Dylan Nedved, going down 3-0 to Williams, and comes back with 3 straight strikes, 1 away here in the 6th. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jacob Owens. Owens a 2-run triple in the 4th. Right now, that is the difference in the game. I being the hockey fan watching the stand, even though my Blackhawks aren't in it. Winnipeg beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2 in Game 1 of the Western Finals last night. Strike call to Owens.
And me not being a hockey fan, but how about the Golden Knights? Expansion team?
First-year expansion team. They're a great team. Fun to watch. Big, fast, and powerful, and yet the Jets actually scored more points. They got home ice advantage in that series. There's a shot down the right field line, foul. On the east side, and I know Game 1 was today, and I have not checked between Tampa Bay and the Washington Capitals.
Yeah, I just pulled down the chat, and I'm just about to delete that one. That's why the camera's not moving.
On to the count. Nedved comes set and delivers. Didn't miss by much. That's a great 0-2 pitch.
No question about it.
That gets the batter thinking. It also gets the umpire thinking. And on down the road, if Dylan Nedved can live there, he'll start getting those calls. Once again, the 1-2. Line shot to Davis. He has it. Scampering back to first is Herrenbruck. 2-way.
Smart play by Wyatt there to just hold on to that ball. Herrenbruck hadn't wandered too far and was able to get back, and Wyatt could see that an errant throw had much more opportunity to go, something to go wrong.
There's Chaz Burgess 0 for 2 with the walk. Runner at first, 2 away. And one's into center field. That's going to get down in front of Schaefer, playing very deep. Herrenbruck makes the turn and then immediately puts the brakes on. So that hustle by Brock Schaefer while he's playing deep saved 90 feet. First and second, 2 away for Jake Karst, the catcher.
Made a nice aggressive approach to that one. Herrenbrook with 2 away, running on contact, and you could tell he had his sights set on third, but the job by Schaefer to pick that up and short hop it and get it back to the infield.
13 hits now for the Cavaliers. Jake Karst 0 for 2 with the walk, steps in. Pitch outside for a ball. Pitch a little bit low. Evidently, somebody ruined the fun on the chat, so we shut that down on YouTube.
All it takes is one, doesn't it, Carp?
It does. It really does. 2-0 pitch right through there for a strike. Chat's been a lot of fun tonight.
Well, they'll just have to join us on Twitter.
2-1 pitch. Lifted down the right field line, but it'll hook foul out of play. 2-2 the count now to Karst. So big pitch coming up for Dylan Nedved, whose pitch count now up to 61. You wonder, Dayton Lane is throwing a couple of days in a row. You wonder if he's available for maybe an inning tonight. 2-2 pitch. Whoa, didn't miss by much. Karst lays off a check down, and he did check his swing. Full count. So now it's 3-2, 2 outs. Herrenbrook will be moving from second, Burgess from first on the pitch.
That's a tough call not to get on a 2-strike pitch.
Baxley not holding the runner at first. Nedved comes set, the runners go. The 3-2 pitch got him swinging, and the inning is over. Dylan Nedved puts up 2 scoreless innings. And now the Dragons come up in the 7th, trailing 9-7 here in Wichita. So with a little clarification from my inside sources within inside the Johnson County Athletic Department, Davis Ernstorff out for his first full inning. He'll face Logan Sartori, Wyatt Davis, and Bobby Morgenson here in the top of the 7th inning. The Dragons at one time trailed 7-1 and 9-2. Now trail at 9-7. 5 unanswered runs by the Dragons. Strike one from Ernstorff. Logan Sartori so far tonight, 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Sartori driving in his 56th run of the year with his ace sac fly. Up the middle, that's into center field for a base hit.
Good start to the 7th for Hutchinson.
The Dragons are a very good fastball hitting team. So now Wyatt Davis. Div 1 for 3. Solo home run in the first to get the Dragons on the board.
Just have a good feeling about this game, don't you, Carp?
It's getting better. It's getting better. This is my 12th game in 3 days in terms of the whole tournament. Davis pulls one foul outside of first. And I have been the official scorer for this tournament since it moved here in 2004. Just kind of consider this one my baby. 0-1. That gets through the catcher, moving up to second is Sartori. He may take a look.
Big turn at second.
And stops. I had to call Jamel Cervantes last night because it happened again to Cowley. Told the story many times on the broadcast about Andrew Dixon against Cowley. Two-base wild pitch to win it in the 13th. Last night it happened again. A two-base wild pitch on a strikeout, no less. Casey Case scored a run.
Oh, wow.
The pitch. A little bit low again. This time Karst knocks it down, and it's 2-1. Davis hits one to center field. That's a base hit. Sartori will score, and it's a one-run game. Wyatt Davis with his second hit and second RBI. He has 58 for the year, and the Dragons now trail it 9-8. Now Bobby Morgenson. Bobby 1 for 1. He's been plunked twice, on base all 3 times, 2 runs scored. First pitch swing, he hits with a mile high to shallow left. Back goes Johnson, in comes Sullivan. It's the left fielder Sullivan to make the catch for the first out. You hate to see that on the first pitch, but it's just been the Blue Dragons' nature all year to be aggressive on first pitches.
Very aggressive at the plate, and you're right. You hate that, but not as easy a play as it may have appeared for Sullivan either with this breeze that's coming out of the south. And as high as that thing was, it was giving him something to kind of contend with.
So here's a chance for Dylan Nedved to help himself out of the mound. He takes a breaking pitch outside, ball 1. Nedved 1 for 3, a 6th inning single and a run scored. Divots a safe lead over at first. Again, he's still running on a bad will. Pitch foul off. It's 1-1. Ernsdorf's 1-1, a little bit low. Karst knocks it down again. He's becoming as busy as Scott Wolverton in blocking pitches. Kind of hope Bobby Malaki's listening in tonight. If you are, Bob, check it on Twitter.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Pitch outside, 3-1. Zach Baxley on deck.
Be fun to relive that home run call in the 9th inning again, wouldn't it?
All we have to do is get on the website and play it. It's on
there.
No,
I mean, let's do it tonight.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Inside ball 4, and Nedved walks. 2 on with 1 out for Zach Baxley. Bax is due. There'll be a pitching meeting. Another right-hander gets up for the Cavaliers. Besides Cowley, Johnson County will have the deepest pitching staff routinely in the region. So Zach Baxley will have to wait a moment until the Cavaliers discuss their intentions here. 9-8 the score now. Dragons have now scored in 4 consecutive innings.
It's always interesting to watch these situations and how a visit to the mound is handled by the home plate umpire. Sometimes we see before the coach is even to the mound, the home plate umpire is starting to make his way out there. In this instance, the home plate umpire never did make a move to the mound.
Some some will allow him a little more time, some won't. Mike Lentz very short leashed on those. He showed that today. So there's Zach. RBI opportunity, runners at first and second, 1 out. Divis at second is the tying run. Ernsdorf's pitch. Big curveball stays high, and it's 1-0 to Baxley.
Zach looked a little confused on that one, caught him off guard.
Baxley's walked twice and struck out once.
What Bax wouldn't love to do something here, his hometown.
Strike at the belled outside corner. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike. You reached the 10 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone. Orangedorf's 1-1. Way outside, backhanded stop by Karst, and that saved a couple of runners from moving up 90 feet. Ground ball left side. Short goes to 1, on to first. Throws wide. So the Dragons catch a break. Be a 6-4 fielder's choice. Divis, the tying run, moves up to third. That was just kind of an awkward play all the way around. Divis had to avoid a potential tag by Matt Johnson. And then it was a tough return or relay throw or pivot for Hartman.
Yeah, there wasn't a very fluid play from beginning to end. A good throw gets Baxley, but Malik Williams, as you said, had to come off the bag to get it. Make sure Divis stayed at third.
Now Julian Ripp, last time up, a bases clearing triple. 2 out in the inning. It'll take a 2-out knock. The Dragons with 1 in the inning have pulled them within 1. Big hack and a miss. Julian Ripp really just learning how to play the game of baseball. Truly picking up on the nuances of the game. The physical talent has always been there. Now he's truly learning the game. The pitch. Laid on a fastball, and he'll hit from an 0-2 hole.
He's been late on 2 straight fastballs. What do you think we're going to see here?
Probably a fastball even a little further out of the zone. That last pitch at 87 from Orangedorf. The pitch. Got him swinging, and the inning is over. But the Dragons continue to chip away. They get 1 more run on Wyatt Divis's RBI single. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 left on. We've reached the 7th inning stretch here in Wichita. Our new score, Johnson County 9 and Hutchinson 8. Dragons continue the comeback tonight here in Wichita, now trailing Johnson County 9-8, home half of the 7th. Johnson County is the home team. 8-9-1 to face Dylan Nedved. Here's Nick Supple. First pitch swinging, hits a roller to Sartori. He scoops on the short hop, underhand flip to Baxley, 1 away.
Nice play by Logan. That was kind of a cue ball off the end of the bat. And you never know what kind of spin you're going to get, especially on this turf.
1 away, and for the shortstop, Matt Johnson. Hitless in 3 trips. A couple of pop-ups and a ground out to Wyatt Divis. Johnson coming into the game was 4 for 10 here in Wichita in his first 3 games. Pitch taken a little bit low, ball 1. Now Nedved delivers a strike at the knees. County was at 1-1. See Mark Blackham's harassing us again, swinging a foul ball. Nedved up in the count 1-2. Truer words have never been spoken by an ESPN analyst by Mark Blackham. Sorry, Mark, that was a dig. 1-2 pitch. High chopper up the middle, charging is Moritz. He scoops, throws, but not in time. That was
Ryan did everything he could there.
That is one of the most helpless feelings as a shortstop, waiting for that ball to come down. And that thing bounced off the turf, and it got about eye level with us.
Reminiscent of Willie Wilson.
Yes.
He made a living off those kind of base hits.
Now big batter coming up, Mason Hartman, 3 for 4, 3 singles. He singled once off of Nedved. Runner at first, 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Move over to first. Fairly close play. Johnson County on the year, 78 out of 105 in steals. Matt Johnson has stolen 3 and 4 opportunities. Another move over, another close play. Dragon pitchers do not have a pickoff this year. All the pickoffs have come by the catchers. The pitch. A little bit low and outside, ball 1 to Hartman.
Well, you know, a factor that probably plays into that statistic a little bit is the fact there's only one lefty on the staff.
Very true. Johnson County's out hit Hutch now 14-8. The pitch. Blow ball 2. Same pitch, same location, same result. Dayton
Well,
Wade.
you asked about Dayton.
He's throwing. Close play again. Pretty good move by Nedved.
Unless Dayton's arm was being held on by duct tape, I don't think there was any way Coach Schmidt was going to keep Dayton out of this game.
2-0 the count to Hartman. The pitch. Runner goes and runs on. It's a ground ball chopped to Sartori. Fields and quickly releases to first for the out. 2 away. The fact that the Johnson County Cavaliers were running on the pitch, that took Sartori right to the ball on that particular occasion. And that probably was the difference in getting the speedy Hartman out. He's now 3 for 5. And Brian Sullivan, the batter. Sullivan, 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, an RBI double in the 3rd. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Got caught looking to end the 5th. Nedved's pitch, skewed foul. Nedved delivery at 81 miles per hour. Pitch a little bit low. Dragon fans barking at that one a little bit. Look low. Count even at 1-1. Outfield straight away at all 3 positions. 1-1 pitch. Late on that swing, and he fouls it to the left. Now Nedved leads in the count 1-2 to Sullivan.
Even though Dayton has worked a few innings, he's not gone long in any of those innings. His pitch count is likely very much under control.
1-2 pitch. Once again fouled off by Sullivan. He's just reaching out and fighting those pitches off. But what that does is extend the pitch count on Dylan Nedved.
Give Sullivan one more pitch to look at.
Lefty-righty matchup here. Nedved steps off. Now we're ready. Once again, the 1-2. Hit him. Another missed opportunity and an advantage count for a Blue Dragon pitcher. I think Dylan just held on to that fastball a wee bit too long, and it just bore right in on the left-handed Sullivan. Now he's got to be careful with Herrenbruck. Ty Herrenbruck hit a 3-run home run in the first. But if you're too careful with Herrenbruck, you've got to face Malik Williams, possibly with the bases loaded. Now Ryan Schmidt comes out. And we'll see what the decision is here. Blue Dragons have battled back. You kind of figured they would.
You never felt that it was going to be anything other than this type of a game. And I think it's still fresh in their minds, the fact they had a 7-0 lead that evaporated to become a 9-8 situation, which is exactly where we're at.
Right now what you have is two teams fighting to keep their seasons alive. Exactly what you would expect in a postseason game.
I almost hate to set this stage cart, but Hutch was up 9-8, 2 men on. Big hitter coming up. And we know what happened with Bobby Morgenson this morning. Very similar situation to what Johnson County has right here.
Yes, very similar.
9-8 lead, 2 men on, 3-hole hitter up, who's already gone deep. Let's hope things don't play out like they did this morning.
Yes, we don't need a repeat. So Herrenbruck the batter. Runners at first and second, 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. 9-8. Johnson County. Nedved's pitch. And on the hands, foul back. A good aggressive pitch to start the at-bat out. That you like.
Kind of surprised we're hearing from Mark Blackham at this hour. It's well past his bed. Of course, he's probably been dozing off and on.
He's training for Monarch season.
Good point.
Nedved's 0-1. Good stop by Wolverton on a slider in the dirt.
Mark's got to change his routine about 3 to 4 weeks before the season starts to extend that bedtime.
For those of you kind of following on the live stats, we've got a fairly shaky internet signal tonight up the hotspot. Not sure why. 1-1 pitch. Foul back, 1-2. So Nedved is up in the count once again. This is where you see growth as a pitcher in these types of situations. You've got the count in your advantage. You need to make the hitter swing and hit on your terms. The 1-2, low 2-2. Again, along those same lines of pitching growth, you want to make your pitch happen on 2-2. Ground ball to short. Lawrence has it, goes to Sartori at second, and the inning is over, and Dylan Nedved battles through it again. Nice job by Dylan Nedved. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. The Cavaliers have stranded 9 through 7. We head to the 8th. Dragons look to continue the comeback, now trailing Johnson County 9-8. Scott Wolverton leads off the 8th for Hutchinson. They have scored in 4 consecutive at-bats. 9-8 the score now. Scott Wolverton tonight. 2 strikeouts and a walk with a run scored. First pitch swinging it high down the left field line, giving chase to Sullivan at the corner. It's out of here. Tied. Bobby Malaki over again. Scott Wolverton with a solo shot down the left field line that stays inside the foul pole, and we're tied up at 9.
The reemergence of Scotty Wolverton continues.
Did somebody hit him in the face in BP? That's a running joke from last year. But Scotty Wolverton today, as Kent Shelley comes out, he's going to make a pitching change. Scott Wolverton today, 2 doubles, a triple, now a home run to tie it up. Hutchinson's come back from the abyss to tie it up. We'll tell you about the new Johnson County pitcher right after this break.
Bailey Jelinek takes the mound for the Cavaliers after the leadoff home run by Scott Wolverton ties us at 9 here in the top of the 8th. What was a 9-2 Hutchinson deficit is now a new ball game, folks. We're tied at 9. Jelinek, 6'4" right-hander, making his 12th appearance, 8 out of the pen. 24 and a third innings to this point, a 5.18 ERA, record of 2-1. 21 hits, 21 runs, 14 of those runs earned, and 21 walks to go along with 17 strikeouts. 3 home runs allowed to this point on the season.
And he will face Ryan Moritz, who has an RBI triple and a strikeout and a run scored. Moritz, first pitch swing late on a fastball. So Ernsdorf goes 2 innings plus, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Ball high to Moritz, and it's 1-1. Blue Dragon baseball, never dull.
That would be the understatement of the afternoon.
1-1 the count. Jelinek's pitch, off-speed offering, misses wide at 72. And
2 arms throwing down in the Cavalier bullpen, so...
Right now the Dragon pen very interested in what's going on. They're stop their throws for a moment. 3-1 to Moritz on a pitch high and tight. This Johnson County pitching staff, 5.63 ERA, but that's high for a Kent Shelley team. 3-1, hit well to center field, but right at Owens. And he comes up
almost
and
misplayed it.
I'm waiting for a call, and they called him out. Let's see if Ryan Schmidt might come out to argue it, but third base umpire Brent Voth finally makes the call. Nearly a misplay by Jacob Owens. But
took a couple of steps back and misread that ball and had to come in and go into a slide.
So it's back to the top of the order, and Brock Schaefer still looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Schaefer pulls one foul outside of first. Dragons with 9 hits in the game. 3 have left the yard, all solo home runs by Divis, Morgenson, and Scott Wolvertons has tied it up here in the 8th. That home run, as that pitch misses, very reminiscent of the 3-run home run by Lindy Ray in the 8th inning of the 2005 championship game against Garden City. That ball nearly hit Randy Stang on the fly. Pitch outside, 2-1. He was out trying to get a foul ball, and then Lindy's home run nearly clipped him out there. And it was right down the line, and it stayed fair, and that gave Hutchinson a 9-8 lead, and ultimately that was the final score. Slice foul by Schaaf. Now it's 2-2.
One goes rattling around the party deck behind the third base dugout and makes its way back down to the field. Very intimate ballpark.
This is a great ballpark. The pitch. Schaefer swings and misses, and there's 2 away. Dragons have now tallied him 5 consecutive innings. And in 6 of 8. Not the big inning, but enough to get back in the game. Here's Logan Sartori, bases empty, 2 away. Sartori 1 for 4, leadoff single in the 7th, and a run scored.
Back to the home run by Wolverton. You talked earlier when Divis flew out to that that well that's out there in the. If he'd hit his 10 feet to the right, Divis had, it probably would have been a home run. If Scotty hits his 10 feet to the right, it's probably either off the wall or a long fly out.
The nuances of Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. 1-1 to Sartori. He takes slow one in. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. I think our scoreboard people are getting tired. The count has been consistently off now for about 3 innings. That's hard to sit in there game after game and just put in balls and strikes. I believe me, I've been over there enough where I've seen people struggle. The pitch. Way out in front of a changeup. It was a foul tip by Sartori, but needless to say, it's still 2-2. Now it's 2-2. Even if Sartori can't extend the inning, the 9th would lead off with Wyatt Divis and Bobby Morgenson. 2-2 pitch. That's up the middle, a base hit.
How about a 2-out rally, Carp?
Sartori makes the turn. He's going to go. Heading for second, head first dive. He's safe.
Be an error on the center fielder on the misplay there. Is that what you're thinking?
Yep, hit and an error. I'm trying to get the word to the scoreboard. So Sartori with his hustle is in scoring position, 2 out for Wyatt Divis. And it's the speed of Sartori that I think made Owens rush to get that ball and tried to transfer it. We bobbled it on the transfer. Now Divis is going to be intentionally walked. And nearly threw a strike. Thank God it was higher. It might have been a strike. So Kent Shelley's going to intentionally walk Divis. And if I recall, didn't Coffeyville intentionally walk Div a couple of times in the opening round series?
They did. They walked him in the 9th inning.
Of game 3. That's right.
Game 3. Because that became a very, there were a lot of text messages and things flying because there was a question about the Coffeyville catcher was stepping out of the box well before the pitcher ever delivered it. And there were people sending me messages that they thought that was a balk, which I don't think we still have clarification from anybody as to what that call would be, whether it's a balk or a pitch.
The rule is it's a balk. It's called a balk. And there's a YouTube video. You type in catcher's balk, and you'll see a YouTube video, and it was that exact thing. But that's for another day. Now Bobby Morgenson, a 2-out RBI opportunity. 9-9 the score. Sartori at second, Divis at first. Same situation as game 3 against Coffeyville. The pitch. High and outside, ball 1.
How do you think Bob feels that they walk the guy in front of him and they intentionally walk someone to get to the cleanup guy? You got a little chip on his shoulder in this at-bat?
Indeed. 1984 Royals. I remember them walking Hal McRae to get to AO, Amos Otis, and he had a grand slam off Jack Morris. 1-0. 70-mile-per-hour changeup clips the outside corner, and it's 1-1 to Morgenson. Bobby tonight, 1 for 2, a solo home run in the 4th. He's been hit twice and scored 2 runs.
That clipped the outside corner only if the outside corner resides in the batter's box on that side of the plate.
Now the 1-1 to Bobby. Way outside, 2-1.
Seems to be a pretty cautious approach. Maybe this is almost an unintentional, intentional walk to Bob.
Jelinek is flirting with danger on the outer half. Bobby, like Wyatt Divis, loves to go to left center. 2-1. That pitch misses up, 3-1 to Morgenson. Dylan Nedved waits on deck. Sartori at second, Divis at first after being intentionally walked. Dragons trying to get a little two-out rally here in the eighth. Wolverton's home run tied at the pitch. In the dirt, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Nedved. Morgenson now with 81 career walks, which is second most. There'll be a conference on the mound. Rick Torino, 1988-1989, has the all-time record for walks at 85. And Bobby just drew his 81st career walk. So a quick meeting by the Cavaliers, and now Dylan Nedved. So Dylan Nedved hitting with bases loaded, 2 out. He walked his last time up, 1 for 3, a single in the 6th and a run scored. Dylan Nedved with the bases loaded this year. Pretty strong, 4 for 7. Nedved with 2 outs hitting .235, so something's got to give. Sartori the lead run at third, the pitch to Nedved, high and tight, ball 1.
Something to keep an eye on in this situation. Jelinek's been struggling with his control and has had a couple of them in the dirt that have gotten to the backstop with no runners on. You know, that happens here. Blue Dragons take the lead.
The pitch, slice foul. Nedved took a shot toward right, and the count evens at 1-1. Jake Kars, the Johnson County catcher, saved a bunch of bases just like Scott Wolverton for the Blue Dragons tonight. Here's the 1-1 to Nedved. Swing and a miss. Jelinek challenged him with an 85-mile-per-hour pitch. And now Nedved hits from a 1-2 hole.
Blue Dragon volleyballer Clara Creech tuning in from Kansas City. Send some good vibes this way, Clara.
Now the 1-2. Pitch just missed. I got the Johnson County fans whooping it up a little bit. 2-2 to Nedved. Dylan needs to take a deep breath after that one and get locked in for the 2-2 that's upcoming. Jelinek comes set. Now delivers the 2-2. Low and outside, ball 3. We've gone as far as we could go. 3-2, 2 out. Sartori at third, Divis at second, Morgenson at first. They will move on the pitch. Morgenson will not be held. So the Dragons will Drake on the pitch. Dragon fans whooping it up. The runners go, the 3-2. High ball 4, and the Dragons take the lead. A bases loaded walk to Dylan Nedved. 2 in the inning have scored, and Hutchinson leads at 10-9. So now Zach Baxley hits with the bases loaded. (10-9) Hutch. They've scored 8 unanswered. The pitch.
Ooh.
Strike called, and that's all I'll say.
That was further outside. That was further outside than the ball that was called on Dylan with 2 strikes on him.
Back still looking for his first hit. The pitch. Up the middle. Base hit. Rounding third is Morgenson after Divis scores. Morgenson scores. It's a 4-run inning, and the Dragons lead at 12-9. What a great time for Zach Baxley to extend his hitting streak. Now he's hit an 8 straight, and he's given the Dragons a 3-run lead. Zach didn't get all of it, but he got enough to get it past the shortstop, Matt Johnson. Dylan Nedved goes first to third. Runners at the corners, 2 away for Julian Ripp. Rip struck out his last time. He's the 9th batter of the inning. The Dragons have come back from the abyss. The pitch to Rip, right through there for a strike.
10 unanswered by the Blue Dragons.
Still being out hit 14-11, but they have a +3 in the runs column, now leading 12-9, looking to add more with 2 outs. Pitch over but low, and it's 1-1 to Julian. 33 pitches for Jelinek, only 13 for strikes. Right now the Johnson County pen watching, as is the Blue Dragon pen. Jelinek comes set and delivers the 1-1 to Rip. Strike at the belt, 1-2. I think Rip was looking for something else and got the breaking pitch. Now he battles from a 1-2 hole. Baxley away from first. 1-2 pitch. Lifted to right center field. Playable low for Burgess. He goes to his left and right and makes the catch. But a big inning. The Dragons bat around. They send 9 to the plate and score 4 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error, but really didn't come into play. 2 left on. We've completed 7.5 at Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. Hutchinson 12 and Johnson County 9. The crazy game of college baseball, you gotta love it. One way or another, this is one of the greatest sports on the planet. And the Cardiac Blue Dragons have come back from the abyss to lead 12-9, bottom half of the 8th. Johnson County will have the last at bat. It'll be the middle third of the order, facing Dylan Nedved, who's now in line to get the win. Malik Williams will lead it off. He's 2 for 4, a pair of singles, a run scored, and an RBI. 1 for 2 against Nedved, and Dylan starts off the 8th with a strike on the outer half.
Dave Hayden, if you're tuned in, which I know you are still out there in Atlanta, don't you even think about going to bed.
The 0-1. And on the fist, foul back. Great location on a pitch at 86.
I'm not saying it's a superstitious game, but we're not changing any mojo that's going on right now, tall guy.
Now the 0-2 to Malik Williams. And on the hands again. Right now, Dylan Nedved, his first 3 pitches have had some purpose. 0-2 the count to Williams. Hutch with 4 in the top of the 8th to take a 12-9 lead. 0-2 pitch. Whoa, a little bit low. Another great 0-2 offering from Nedved. Nedved's pitch. High chopper up the middle, charging is Mortan Divis. Bare hand throws, but it's not in time. That'll be an infield hit. And a turf hit at that.
There was nothing really they could do with that. Wyatt came across, barehanded it, but not even close at first. Williams got down the line in great fashion for a guy his size.
Kid's a great athlete. So now Jacob Owens. Johnson County gets the leadoff man in the 8th. Owens 1 for 4, 2-run triple in the 4th.
Looks like Miguel Reyes is getting a few pitches in down there in the bullpen now.
Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Interesting, but right now,
right now I've got to think Baden Lane is the first call.
Ryan Smith's looking at all options. 1-0 pitch. That one's hit the left center field and down. Schaefer will cut it off right at the track. Williams will head to third. He's being waved, and he will score easily. RBI double for Owens, and it's 12-10. So we talked in the break that Dylan Nedved might be on a short leash.
Here comes Coach Schmidt.
Johnson County now with 16 hits. I think he's going to take every bit of the time allotted to him by home plate umpire Robert Dickinson. Now I imagine, again, what we saw earlier today, Dylan Nedved, if he's pulled, goes back to short. Ryan Moritz comes out. But that was a different situation because that was the DH.
Right.
DH still in place. So
he makes the call.
The call is going to be made, and we'll see how the lineup changes.
They're hollering back to make sure they know who he wants.
So we're going to get the pitching change and the subsequent defensive changes. And we'll be back after this break. Well, the changes have been made, and we'll see Big Tex, Dayton Lane. And likely he's on for just the 8th. Now when Dylan Nedved came in, the Dragons had to burn the DH. So now Lane will hit in the 9 hole and will be second due up in the 9th. Dylan Nedved returns to short. But we'll worry about the batting ramifications of this when that comes up. Right now, Dayton Lane comes in with a runner at second, nobody out, 1 run already across. Dayton Lane making his 4th postseason appearance, most of any Dragon, 1-0 with a 3.52 ERA. Lane's thrown 7 2/3 innings in 3 postseason games. 5 hits allowed, 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Lane a 2.72 ERA for the season, on for the 24th time with a 3-2 record and 4 saves. 39 2/3 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, 25 walks. He's allowed 28 hits, 20 runs, and 12 earned. And opponents hitting just 189 off of him. Wouldn't you love to see the Dayton Lane that blitzed Butler in El Dorado?
It would be a wonderful thing to see with those 2 innings he put on display there.
He will face right fielder Chaz Burgess. Burgess represents now the tying run. Burgess 1 for 3 with a 6th inning single. He walked in the 4th. Burgess has 2 postseason home runs, and Lane starts him off with a fastball strike. Changeup strike. 70. Dayton is just strictly right now a off-speed type
I don't
pitcher.
remember seeing a fastball from him this morning.
That pitch misses high. Count it 1-1.
And if it's working for you, why change it up? No pun intended.
So in essence, Dayton Lane pitching backwards. 1-1 pitch. Popped up, and it's going to get out of play. Lane up in the count 1-2. 12-10 now. Each team still has 1 more at bat remaining in regulation play. Wayne's 1-2, upcoming. Delivers. High and tight. 2-2 now to Burgess.
It was a fastball. That one clocked at 85.
Knew he still had one in the bag.
Just giving Burgess one more thing to think about.
2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Wow. 76-mile-per-hour changeup just misses, and now it's a full count to Burgess. A smallish strike zone, but a consistent strike zone for Robert Dickinson tonight. Now the payoff. Pulled foul. Burgess stays alive. Dragon fans starting to rhythmic clap. Trying to pull Dayton Lane through this at bat. Here's 3-2 pitch. Lifted to center field shallow. Schaefer on the run, coming a long way. He's got it for out number 1. Schaefer with the long run. 1 away here in the 8th.
He read that beautifully because he took off in a dead sprint as soon as it left the bat. Was able to get there in time to settle under it for the first out of the inning.
Jake Carr steps in, a runner at second, 1 away, 0 for 3 with a walk. He struck out in his last at bat. That against Dylan Nedved. Dylan out of the stretch, comes set and delivers, misses high, ball 1. Can't close the book yet on Dylan Nedved. The runner at second is his responsibility. But he battled and gave the Dragons the chance they desired. 1-0. Swing and a miss on a changeup at 76. Count even at 1-1. That had great late movement that dropped right off the table. Outfield straight away and moderate depth at all 3 positions for the Blue Dragons. Deep and short is Nedved the pitch. Fastball low and away, good stop.
Both catchers have been extremely active tonight and done an outstanding job of keeping pitches in front of them.
This has now become the longest game of the tournament at 2 hours and 44 minutes. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2.
Did we hold that record with our game yesterday?
Yes, we did.
So we're in the top 2 spots.
We're holding on to 1 and 2. Brett Biggs, the Barton coach, as he was walking out of the press box tonight after his radio show, told me to have this game go about 15. I just kind of chuckled at him. Biggsy and I go way back. Pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wolverton tags him out, and there's 2 away.
Of course, Barton gets the winner of this game tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. You know, I'm looking down on the Blue Dragon fans, and I see the Schmidt kids down there still at this hour, and I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for their teachers tomorrow because it's going to be a tough way to start a Monday with those kids getting home late tonight.
Indeed. Nick Supple, the DH, steps in, grounded out his last time, 1 for 4. He slices 1 foul. 10 runs, 16 hits, 1 error, 9 left on for Johnson County. 12 runs, 11 hits, no errors, 7 left on for Hutch. This 2018 Dragon offense has been one of the most prolific in history. 1 pitch check, swing, roller, foul along third.
Excuse me, swing by Supple. Down in the count now, 0-2.
Dylan Nedved looking to Scott Wolverton for the sign. Gets what he likes and comes set. 0-2 pitch. Line down the right field line, but well foul.
You know, you commented when Coach Schmidt made that visit to the mound and the time he took to get there. Our good friend Mark Blackham said it took him so long, Mark was able to down 2 hot dogs before he got there.
Mark self-reported a food coma tonight. Once again, Lane comes set, checks her under the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off again by Supple.
Goes skipping over the Blue Dragon dugout up into the stands. Looks like everyone's in good shape.
Game number 12 of the tournament. Once again, 0-2 from Dayton Lane. Lifted to center field. Playable for Brock Schaefer. Drifting back a few steps. He's got it. The inning is over. Johnson County comes back with 1 run on the Owens double. But that's it. Dayton Lane shuts him down. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. They've now stranded 10 through 8. We head to the 9th. Dragons 12 and the Cavaliers 10.
First career at bat.
Welcome back to Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. We go to the 9th. Hutchinson leading 12-10. Johnson County with the last cracks. It will be 8-9-1 in the Dragon 8th. Wolverton, Dayton Lane, and Brock Schaefer. Dayton Lane on deck. First pitch to Wolvies over his head and back to the screen, a la Nuke LaLoosh from Bull Durham.
I see Dayton already needs to learn the protocol. The on-deck guy doesn't chase the balls back to the backstop. Yeah. That's the guy in the hole.
Those pitchers. Wolvie pops one up, foul territory, first base side. Malik Williams now catches it in fair territory. And there's 1 away in the Dragon 9th. And now we will see the very first at bat in his Blue Dragon career. I'm sure he hit in high school. For Dayton Lane.
You think there's some butterflies floating around, not in Dayton, but down in College Station right now?
You might be. There might be. You just hope he doesn't wear one. It's low and away, ball 1.
He's got a good aggressive position and stance up there, and he's up in the box, so he's going to make.
I'm going to guess he had plenty of high school and summer ABs. Strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. Oh, the Dragon dugout's killing me right. They're reacting on every pitch to Dayton. Swings and chops one foul.
What do you think's going to happen if he gets a base hit?
Oh, the dugout will just erupt. Scoreboard's got 2-1.
Should be 1-2.
1-2.
1-2.
Jelinek into the wind, the pitch. Fouls one up. Toby a little shaky on that one over at first. We've got Jamel so trained. Here's the pitch. High chopper up the middle. He's got a chance. Fielded by the shortstop. It's an infield single for Dayton Lane. His first career hit. College Station is up for grabs right now. So Dayton Lane a 1-out single. And quite likely when the final stats in this season come out, 1 for 1 and 1,000 batting average.
Now Dayton don't get picked off.
Yeah. Brock Schaefer, he's still looking for his first hit.
How about now for that first hit of the game?
Personally, if it is, I hope it's a bomb. I don't want Dayton to expend any more energy than he has to on one to the gap.
Yeah, good point.
I'd rather just have him walk around the bases. Move over to first.
You know, and they're going to throw over there and make him do a little bit extra work.
You bet. Ken Shelley knows this game inside and out, knows who's at first base. Jelinek comes set. Now delivers to Schaefer, and he takes a strike at the knees outside corner. Good pitch from Jelinek. Lane's hit the 12th of the game for Hutchinson. That in and of itself deserves a sidebar. Writing term. The pitch. Schaefer pulls one to the right side, fielded by Williams. He goes to second by one. Nobody covering first on the return throw. So a 3-6 fielder's choice. That gets Dayton Lane back to the dugout to catch his breath a little bit. Got to see this reaction coming in. Yep, the Dragons have come out and treat him to a hero's welcome. So Sartori.
Now the important thing for Dayton, you got the hit, you're back in the dugout.
Get locked back.
Batting helmet comes off, hat comes on, you're a pitcher again. And like you started to say, get locked in.
Sartori takes a strike at the knees. Don't be surprised if Schaefer breaks and Jamel Cervantes puts the hit and run on here with 2 out. Big gap in right center for Sartori. He's well capable of hitting that gap. The pitch. Sartori drives one pretty well to right. Back is Burgess. He's got it measured, and the inning is over. So for the first time in 6 innings, the Dragons come up scoreless. Dayton Lane gets his first career hit. Dragons strand 1. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Time to get the cardiologist business card out. It's going to be a wild one. Dragons lead Johnson County 12-10. Well, 12-10 Hutchinson, bottom of the 9th. Dayton Lane will face 9-1-2 in the Johnson County order. Johnson, Hartman, and Sullivan. It's been a heart-stopping type of ball game. Hutchinson trailed 9-2 and scored 10 unanswered. So here's Matt Johnson, 1 for 4. He led off the 7th with a single. Dayton Lane looking for the save, and he misses low with a changeup at 73, ball 1. Lane came in to shut the door on a potential Johnson County rally in the 8th. Ball 2. If Dayton needs to take a second and catch his breath, just step off the back and do so. Swing and a miss, 2-1. That pitch at 80. Dayton wants to go quick. He's already going into the windup. 2-1 pitch. That one's hit the center field. Schaefer will play it on a hop. It's a leadoff single, and the tying run will come to the plate. Second hit of the game for Johnson.
Smart play by Brock to sit back and let that one come to him. Charging it could only allow bad things to happen.
17 hits now for Johnson County. I think the scoreboard people there they get it up over on the board. Now Mason Hartman, a 3-hit game, 3 singles. Right now it's important just to get an out here. Lane's pitch. Good block by Wolverton, ball 1.
Matt Hopkins now up, throwing once again.
Hopkins has been strong in the postseason.
Been up twice before this evening, so he shouldn't take long to get hot and ready to go.
Johnson away from first. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Dragon fans have been awesome tonight over behind that first base dugout. Need some good vibes from the Salt City, and wherever you're listening, trying to get this a Blue Dragon win. The pitch, right in there for a strike, 1-2. Baxley holding Johnson on at first. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second. Sartori has it, flips for the force for one. They won't be able to turn it. Now the ball gets away, but Scott Wolverton backs up the play. Important thing is they got the lead runner, one away here in the Cavalier ninth.
Looked like Logan had a little bit of a problem getting that out of his glove, which slowed things down just a little bit.
It wasn't a particularly hard-hit ball, so turning two would have been probable. Now Brian Sullivan. And a RBI double in the third, hit by pitches last time up. He's been hit twice. He's 2 for 3. Top of the order's been tough on the Dragons tonight. Outside ball one. On deck, Ty Herrenbruck, followed by Malik Williams. So the Dragons are going to have to finish this out. They're going to have to do it against the heart of the Johnson County order. The 1-0. Outside, that one gets away from Wolverton. That'll be a pass ball. Right now, not particularly other than losing the force and the potential double play. But that run right now means nothing if the Cavaliers can't follow it up with another base runner. Dragons lead 12-10. Lefty-righty matchup. Right-handed Lane, the left-handed Sullivan. Lane's 2-0. Ball 3.
Boy. Not sure where that one was in relation to pitches we've seen called strikes all night long.
So Lane, he doesn't have to give in to Sullivan. First base is unoccupied. 3-0 pitch. High ball 4. Now the tying runs are on and the winning run comes to the plate with the power coming up.
But it does set up the double play.
Ty Herrenbruck will be the batter. Wyatt Divison to give Dayton Lane a high five and a quick word of encouragement. Again, Matt Hopkins still warming up back of Lane in the pen. Now Ryan Schmidt's coming out. This time he jogs out. It's the first time we've seen the jog, and that's an indication that he will stick with Dayton Lane.
This is to talk strategy.
Next two Coffeyville, Johnson County batters have a combined 31 home runs. So Robert Dickinson's going to make his walk out there and try to break some things up and try to get this game moving along. I know there's some stuff out west in terms of weather. I haven't checked the radar lately. So the meeting is over.
Did you hear how the Wichita State baseball game ended today, Carp?
I did not.
In a tie.
Ah, the old time limit.
Travel curfew rule came into play.
Yep.
Southern Florida had to catch a plane back home to Tampa, so they had to leave the ballpark by 3 o'clock.
That happens more than once in college baseball. Don't have to worry about that here. First and second, one out. Dragons lead 12-10. Ty Herrenbruck, the batter. The pitch from Dayton Lane is over for a strike. Lane at 30 pitches, but that right now
I think that's irrelevant.
is irrelevant. You are correct. He comes set, checks the runner at second, now delivers the 0-1. That one gets by Wolverton. And now it's second and third, and the tying run goes into second base and scoring position with one out.
It's going to go down as a wild pitch, and we've talked and sung the praises of both catchers all night long, but that one wasn't anything Scotty could do with it.
So right now the Dragons could use a strikeout or a pop-up. They'll give up the run for the out on a ground ball. Lane's 1-1. Misses inside and low 2-1. Things continue to tighten up here at Lawrence-Dumont. You knew it couldn't be easy. That's not the Blue Dragon way. Lane's 2-1. Strike called 2-2. Bit of a delayed call from Dickinson, the umpire, but he throws the right hand out. 2-2 the count now to Ty Herrenbruck. Dayton Lane needs something nasty right here. Here it is. Full count, pitch low. Three and two, one out here in the ninth. Dragons lead 12-10. Lane gets the sign from Scott Wolverton, the pitch. Slow roller left side, charging his Nedved. He bobbles it. Everybody's going to be safe. The run will score. It's 12-11 now. As a slow roller by Herrenbruck brings in Hartman. It's a one-run game. So Sullivan at second now. And Malik Williams, the batter. Winning run now at the plate. Excuse me, the winning run at first base. They've not put the run up in the bottom of the ninth yet. There it goes. Dayton Lane comes set.
Williams has grounded into a pair of double plays on the year.
Pitch way outside. I think it's 2-0. I didn't see the first
1-1.
pitch.
1-1.
Okay, thank you. Words right now just kind of meaningless. Right now everybody's just sitting back and waiting to see how this one develops. It's a one-run game now. First and second, one out here in the bottom of the ninth. Dragons clinging to a 1-1 lead. Lane's pitch. High pop, but foul out of play. 79 miles per hour on that pitch.
Scoreboard's got 1-1. There have been 3 pitches thrown. Yep, showing 1 and 2, so.
I think the scoreboard people are struggling. It's getting late here on Sunday night, the 12th game of this tournament in 3 days. Lane comes set, now the 2-2. Lifted to right field. Julian Ripp has it for out number 2, and there'll be no advancement. Throw gets through, but the Dragons back it up, and now 1 out to go for Hutchinson. Julian made it an adventure. You weren't sure if he had a great beat on it or not.
He had some stuttering going on in those feet. Went back, came up, went back, came up. But he did a great job of, once he made the catch, getting it back into play and keeping the runner at second.
Jacob Owens, an RBI double his last time up. He is 2 for 5, a double and a triple and 3 RBIs. Sullivan at second, the tying run, the pitch from Lane. Ball 1. Fun at the old ballpark, you can't beat it. Dragon fans doing everything they can to get one more out. The pitch. Over but low, knocked down by Wolverton again. It's 2-0. If Owens extends the inning, Chaz Burgess waits on deck. Lane's 2-0. Ball 3 again, another block by Wolverton. Three and 0 the count now to Jacob Owens. A bad one would load him up for Chaz Burgess. 3-0 pitch. Showing bunt was Owens. All for show.
I think showing that to just give Dayton something to look at when he's making that delivery.
Count now at 3-1. We'll see if Owens is taking again. Unless he gets his pitch, highly probable. 3-1 pitch. Drops in there for a strike. Full count. 3-2, 2 out. The runners will be going.
How about this situation, Carp? You need another Coca-Cola?
I do. 2 or 3 maybe. Dayton Lane looks into Wolverton for the sign. He wants a new set of signs. Now he gets what he likes and comes set. The runners move on the pitch to 3-2. Swing and a miss. It's a foul ball. Barely got a piece of it. Dragon fans and Johnson County fans alike, take another deep breath. I'm sure many in College Station, Texas, doing the same thing. Sullivan at second, Herrenbreck at first. They'll move on the pitch. Once again, the 3-2. Got the middle. Sartori knocks it down. It'll be an infield single, and the bases will be loaded.
So another one of those turf singles.
Johnson County's had plenty of those tonight. So now the tying run at third base, the winning run at second base for Chaz Burgess. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Kent Shelley's going to come out and make some changes. He's got the lineup card out. And it'll be a pinch runner at second base. And it will be
number 7, it looks
Connor
like.
Schumacher will pinch run for Herrenbreck at second.
That's a big substitution because that takes Herrenbreck out of the game should this get extended.
So Burgess hits with the bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. 12-11 Hutchinson, tying run at third, winning run at second base for the Cavaliers. Lefty-righty matchup. Lane's first offering is way outside, ball 1. Both sets of fans imploring their teams, one way or the other. 1-0 is lifted high to left, right field. Rip going back, slowing down. He's got it, and the Dragons win it! Julian Rip with a running catch in right center field, and the Dragons stay alive.
That thing had some air underneath it. Julian tracks it down on a dead sprint, still at the warning track, ends up running into the fence. Wow.
The Blue Dragons now 5-0 in elimination games, and they stick around to play day number 4 tomorrow, and they will play the Barton Cougars in the losers bracket final. Now just 3 teams remain in the Region 6 tournament, and the Hutchinson Blue Dragons are one of them. What a ball game. Denny and I will total it up and wrap it up right after this break. Wow. Steve Carpenter, Danny Stackwine, Brandon Sam, Cherie Sam's back with you for the Blue Dragon postgame show. I need a Coke. Hutchinson stays alive, winning a thriller.
You can have your Coke. I need something stronger than that right now, Carp.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you something.
You can have Michelle drive. I got to drive alone tonight.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. 8:31 p.m. I get a text from our buddy Coach Knack.
Yes.
I think we both got that text.
I believe we did.
Knack says, don't worry, it's going to take 10 to win tonight. That's when we were down 9-2. And I replied to him, no worries, we got this. And I'm not tooting my own horn on that prediction, but Coach Knack knew it was going to take double digits. 10 wouldn't have done it, 12 did it.
Coach Knack is all-knowing. But the bottom line is the Blue Dragons live to play another day. Now 5-0 in the postseason, 3-0 here in Wichita. They defeat Johnson County in some kind of thriller, 12-11. Here are the totals for the Blue Dragons. Now 39-20 run, 12 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 8 left on base. For Johnson County, 11 runs, 19 hits, 1 error, 13 left on base. Dylan Nedved gets the win. He improves to 5-1. Davis Ahrensdorf takes the loss. He falls to 3-4. And Dayton Lane, who cares about the save? He got his first career hit tonight.
1,000.
But Dayton Lane guts one out in the ninth.
He's going to lead the team in hitting.
Leaving the bases loaded for his 5th save time of ball game, 3 hours and 16 minutes. And just a tremendous crowd. And while we were on the break, you should have heard the roar of the Blue Dragon faithful when the Dragons came in after the high fives in the middle infield. That was one of the prettiest sounds you'll ever hear for Blue Dragon Nation. So the Dragons will now take on Barton tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We hope everybody can make it down. We need a huge crowd down here. The Dragons have completed half of the 6-game winning streak, doing so in a gutty fashion tonight. Danny Steckline, your thoughts?
Boy, if you haven't been to a Blue Dragon baseball game this year, you owe it to yourself to jump in the car, hit K96, and get over here tomorrow afternoon for this 4 o'clock game. These guys are going to give you more than your money's worth. The way they've played the last 3 games, Carp, and what now, 5-0, 6-0 in
5-0.
5-0 when facing a season-ending possibility. What do you say? You know, they could have very easily mailed it in when they were down 7-1 after 3. And Johnson wasn't just dinking a few hits around. They were squaring the ball up and really putting the hurt on it as Athletic Director Josh Gooch comes wandering in to celebrate a little bit as well. Carp, we're just
we're out.
I don't know what to say.
We're out.
I don't know what to say.
Now.
We did talk about it at the time, though. They were down 7-1, and they knew they were up 7-0 in their game this morning, and that one got within 1 at 9-8. They got this one back to 9-8.
Never a lick of panic in that baseball team this entire game. Maybe in the ninth. I know we were nervous up here.
No question. No question. But, boy, I just love the swagger and the confidence that Dayton Lane takes, not only on the mound, but golly, when he steps into the batter's box now, he's going to be harping on Schmitty to let him pinch hit.
Oh, yeah.
Every opportunity now.
1 for 1 in his Blue Dragon career. And there it is right there on the box score.
I mean, the ball only traveled about 120 feet, but it's still a base hit.
It was about 90 feet straight up that made the play, though.
Yeah.
Infield chopper.
Natural grass, that's a ground out.
Yeah.
But we'll take it.
We'll take it. Several different Blue Dragons drive-in runs tonight, let's see here. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 different Dragons drive-in runs in this game. Logan Sartori, Wyatt Divis, Julian Ripp, all with 2 hits each. Ripp with 3 RBIs, Divis with 2. He had a home run. So did Morgenson, but it was Scott Wolverton's home run in the 8th that tied it at 9. So Wolverton has come around at a great time in the postseason.
3 home runs, all of them solo home runs.
Dragons with 2 triples in the game from Rip and Ryan Moritz, 3 home runs. No doubles tonight. Total of 12 hits. They were out hit 19-12. The Blue Dragons scored in 6 of 9 at bats tonight. Mason Palmier was the starting pitcher, lasted just 2+ innings, gave up 7 hits and 7 earned runs. Zach Philbin pitched 1 1/3, allowed 1 hit and 1 run. But Dylan Nedved, the winning pitcher, battled through 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 3 and walked 1. And Big Tex, Dayton Lane, a 2-inning save, his 5th of the year. And if I recall, that is all-time or career save number 12 for Big Tex, which moves him into number 4 on the career saves list. Well, We could probably talk for the next 2 hours. We wouldn't have any listeners, but we could still talk for the next 2 hours. But we need to save some stuff up for tomorrow.
You know, we dropped down to 80, but we still got 80 people out there. I just got a text from Patrick Hall, volleyball coach at Hutch Community College.
The hat is listening.
You know, I was just going to say, what do you bet he's laying in bed watching this? He's in Boise, Idaho. What do you bet he's laying in bed watching this, got a ball cap on?
Oh, great listeners, our viewership tonight. Great fan base here, and we would love to see you again here tomorrow. The Dragons will play Barton, 4 o'clock, 3:50 airtime. No games before it, so this one will start on time. Dragons win that one. They are into the championship game where they will have to defeat the Cali Tigers twice. But before any of that, they need to take care of the Jayhawk West champion Barton Cougars, and we'll have coverage for you tomorrow beginning at 3:50 p.m. On behalf of Brandon Sams, Cherie Sams, the big man behind us, Josh Gooch, and Denny Steckline, Steve Carpenter from Lawrence-Dumont Stadium. Guys, the season's still going. The Blue Dragons defeat Johnson County 12-11. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Until then, so long, everybody.